Good evening, model railroaders, and welcome back to the Second Section podcast, where it's just regular people talking about model railroading. I'm your host, Andy Dorsch, and joining me this night is Mike Ostertag, my co-host. Mike, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Can't you tell?
Ooh, you got the super sexy voice on tonight.
Yeah, I do.
Is that brought to you courtesy of the seasonal cold?
That is brought to you courtesy of what the hell happened over the weekend is what that is.
Partied too hard, huh?
Well, it was a good weekend.
Yeah.
And it's turned into this. So
yeah. And for some of us here on our Hollywood Squares, some of us are keeping the party rolling. So so we're looking good there. But other than that, we got a pretty good show tonight, don't we?
This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun.
So tonight, on the show, we've got some. There you go. We'll get some Ricola cough drops there.
Those things are awesome.
I'll send those right over to you.
Thanks.
We have our friends joining us back again. This is 2 times for HomeShops, and Bernard, I think this is the 3rd time you've been on the show representing Miniprints. So welcome back.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Hey. So what we'll do tonight is we got about 100 people on the stream tonight, and we got a bunch of new folks on since the last time you've been on, and since the HomeShops crew has been on. So what we'll do is we'll pass the microphone around the room, and we'll go and ask for just a quick introduction about who you are, and your interests in model railroading. And, if you're, like I said, if you're part of a company, hey, let us know about it. So Bernard, we'll start with you, or as we should say, Dr. Mini.
Yes. So my name is Bernard, and I play Dr. Mini on TV. I am a model railroader. I have a basement-sized layout below me.
Okay.
Basement. I modeled the Quebec Gatineau, which is a Genesee and Wyoming short line from Quebec City. And it's in a room that's about 30 feet by 10 feet. And it's all built for operations. I kind of got it all up and running, and I've turned it on 3 times in the last 3 years.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And let that be a cautionary tale, because I'm sure everybody everyone here has probably heard this story 1,000 times before. But as I was building my railroad, I decided I needed a 3D printed beaver. So I made one. After typing in HO beaver into the internet, which I do not recommend because you will need to explain a few things to a few people, I discovered that they were not available. So I made one, being a recovering graphic designer, made my own HO scale beaver for my own layout, made the mistake of posting it on Facebook. I have become a model railroad manufacturer by mistake. My company is miniprints.com.
Okay.
And one day I hope to get back to modeling. So that is who I am.
Okay. And so just I'm gonna be awkward here, and I'm gonna bring up your website. And let's and I know this isn't a massive commercial this evening, but so this is Miniprints here. Let's see.
Yeah, the beaver, it started 3 years ago with the beaver, and the beaver has grown completely out of control to more things than I could possibly name.
Now you don't just deal in the normal. You have some other odd bits and bytes that you do in the 3D print.
Yeah, I like things that don't exist. I have had to sort of put some of the staples there, but the things that really sort of get me excited, are the things, like, pumpkins that light up, and, things that move. And we'll talk about one of my crazy ideas later tonight, but pigs that fly, things. I mean, Halloween is my absolute favorite time of the year. So if you go to miniprints.com/Halloween, you'll probably see, sort of the most outlandish, crazy things that I've come up with. But yeah, it's the fun stuff.
Yeah, it is the fun stuff. So
It is the fun stuff.
And you're also out on Facebook, and you have a YouTube channel as well.
Yeah, and I go live.
Miniprints.
I go live the first Wednesday of every month at 7 p.m. Eastern, and
Okay.
that's kind of when I let it all hang out and introduce some of the new crazy mini prints. And
Yeah.
I'm always trying to sort of think about. I mean, let's face it, there are lots of people out there creating sort of 3D printed propane tanks.
Yep.
So the challenge is, how do you go beyond that and have a little bit of fun with it?
Yeah. Well, welcome back, Bernard. And that was a fantastic intro. We're always happy to have you here on the show. And then in our next block down on the bottom there, we have Chris Palmieri. Welcome back. How you doing?
Not bad at all. How are you guys?
Hey, I'm doing real good that I'm talking to you guys now. So you have a model railroad company yourself.
I do. It's called HomeShops, and I'd imagine most of your viewers are familiar with, since we had an episode not too long ago where we announced the first part of a release, and we're back to talk about the rest and some other exciting stuff today. But HomeShops, for those not familiar, is a company that I started, and our niche is the freelance model railroad market. And we work with a number of manufacturers and a number of freelance model railroad owners, and we have one with us tonight that you're going to introduce shortly. And we bring some really cool rolling stock to market. So we're excited to be rolling along here.
Yeah, excellent. And so I'm gonna be slightly embarrassing as well here, on and awkward. But I'll bring up your website here as well, just the first page, and talk about that. Maybe the production quality on this is just atrocious this evening.
It's nice to see some things never change.
So here we are, homeshops.net.
Correct. And
this is what we talked about, those mini high cubes, the last time that we were had you guys on. May have you'll see 3 of those rolling around on the rails behind me tonight, as I have essentially the HomeShops, I guess you could say, ambassador train rolling behind me. But you have all sorts of rolling stock from various vendors out here in different road names, which is really cool, all freelance. So make sure to check them out at homeshops.net. Now, Chris, you've brought a pal with you on the show this evening as well.
Yeah, we'd like to introduce Brad Bina to the audience here. Our next freight car is going to be the Tangent 4427. We talked about it and showed a few road names in the last episode, and one of the road names we did not really talk about is the Neosho Valley Lines. And I thought it might be kind of fun to have.
There you go. There you go.
Have one of the road owners on and participate in our conversation, and maybe learn a little bit more about what got Brad into the freelance niche and his railroad and how this car came to be.
Well, that sounds awesome. Brad, welcome to the Second Section podcast. We're ecstatic to have you on here. Why don't, like Chris said and teed you up, why don't you introduce yourself to the audience? What are you, how'd you, we don't have to do the full, how we got into model railroading, but maybe tell us what you do and what your model railroad interests are, and a little bit about the layout you're working on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thrilled to be participating in this. This is a lot of fun for me. My name is, and I'm going to make sure to make everybody on here go, oh my God, I can't believe it. My name's Brad Bourbony.
Yeah.
And
apologies. We've just communicated an email. It doesn't speak to me.
Thanks, Chris, for falling on that grenade for me.
Look at my name. I've heard it all my life. It's no big deal. It really isn't. um, I am not only am I a model railroader, I've been one for all close to 40 years. I am also a professional railroader. I work for Watco Companies, who owns a multitude of short line railroad companies, including the Kaw River Railroad.
Ooh.
It's the only reason why I put the hat on, was just for one quick blurb.
Hashtag not sponsored.
Exactly. Maybe we'll work on that. But yeah, my railroad is the Neosho Valley Lines. The camera's backwards. We'll talk more about that, more about it later. But it's freelancing was always my thing. I'm a big fan of the Missouri Pacific because it went through my hometown. A big fan of the Rock Island. But when I decided to model, I wanted to follow some of the other guys that I can talk about later and freelance. So, and then through Daniel Archer, a mutual friend of myself and Chris, we talked about making some NVL covered hoppers. And that once that got off the ground, everything just kind of flew from there. And now that the cars are almost ready, I am geeked up.
Yeah, I've got in the pre-show meeting, I got to see some samples, and doggy, they look real nice. So I can't wait to talk about them this evening. But I do want to just kick it over to the section crew right now. We have about 145 people out in the chat tonight. So first of all, thanks for joining us this evening. This is going to be a real cool episode. I don't want to give anything away, but I think after the first introduction of what they're going to show tonight, the episode is going to devolve quickly into childish humor, and I think we all need to be prepared for that. But I do want to thank everyone for showing up this evening. Just remember, for those in the chat, the little blue wrenches next to the people, next to the names of the people in the chat, those are the moderators. Be sure to be kind to them, and let's keep the conversation about model railroading, modeling, and civil tonight. We don't want to have the moderators give you the stanky boot and kick you out of the fun this evening. So if you guys have any comments, questions, make sure you throw them into the chat. There's all sorts of you out here tonight. I will do my best to get you guys up on the board so our crack crew can answer any questions that you guys may have. So, Bernard, why are we here this evening?
Literally, or is this a more philosophical question?
Maybe a little from column A and a little from column B. But I guess I'd like to for you to kind of bring all of our friends here that are listening and watching this evening, kind of up to speed on where the Miniprints product line is and how we've got this I guess mashup of two model railroad companies together on one show tonight.
Sure, I can do that, Andy, but I have a question for you first.
Ooh.
Has everyone here signed the waiver?
What waiver is that? Hold on.
It's going to devolve quickly, so.
Okay. Yes, I think we've all signed the waiver.
Okay.
And
there's 152 people here that are gonna, it's gonna go downhill really quick.
Yep. So
all right. Well, Mike says we're here to have fun. Okay.
Yep, and that's right.
All right. So it's all about the fun. And as I mentioned before, I'll set the stage. As I mentioned before, I like to have fun with this. I'm a prototypical model railroader who enjoys prototypical operations. But if you can't have a little bit of fun on your layout, then I think, sometimes we can spend too much time counting the rivets. I like a few of those rivets to pop out and have a little fun with them. So there are Illinois Midland Railroad shenanigans coming. And this whole thing started in Texas. So we'll set the stage. Okay. It happened in Texas. As I mentioned previously, Yes, Jeff, I do have an interesting sense of humor. So I like to take Miniprints and extend it to do other things. So the product line started with Miniprints. Miniprints are the 3D printed, little pieces of, resin.
Right.
Then I extended the line to mini lights, and mini lights became a line where I basically got these blinking little sort of fire LEDs. And I thought, I wanted to put these little sort of orange blinking LEDs in as many things as I could think of. So I came up with campfires, pot-bellied stove, pumpkins, jack-o'-lanterns, you name it. If there was a way to put a little blinking LED, I made TVs with little blue LEDs. The whole idea is to sort of go beyond a 3D printed item and start creating a scene, create something a little bit more. So I came up with this idea of mini prints, mini lights, and I thought, well, the next iteration has to be mini sounds. And that's right, Ron, the dumpster fire. There was a dumpster fire too. So, anything that I could flicker or illuminate. So I started thinking, okay, so we got mini prints, mini lights, mini sounds. So what could I do to create sound with 3D printed objects? So I called a couple friends of mine, two very good friends, and this is going to be a theme of the night, sort of small model railroad manufacturers, stronger together. And a good friend of mine is Nick Masney at ITLA, and ITLA makes beautiful wooden kits. And then I called some friends over at Iowa Scaled Engineering, who makes wonderful sound modules.
Yes.
And the Miniprints talking outhouse was born. So I had Nick create this wonderful ITLA Miniprints, beautiful little laser cut outhouse. Okay. So there's Benton and Southern. It's going to get shitty from here on in.
It's going to be a shit show.
Yeah, kids, avert your ears. Do you have a PG-14 plus that we can?
Yeah, we'll be fine. We'll be fine, Bernard. I'll get that up in the post show notes.
So then, of course, so there's the laser cut outhouse. Then, being a 3D guy, I had to scan someone. I hope you can see that.
Can you tell us who you scanned?
So there we go. So there is. I'm saving the identity of the person so that they are not, so that they're safe. So then there is a 3D scan because I do a lot of the mini-me's, the 3D scanning. So yes, I 3D scan someone with their pants around their knees. And then, of course, the Iowa Scaled Engineering guys have come up with a custom sound module.
Oh my goodness.
With things that only you, we'll let your imagination go wild. So we put this bundle together and I unveiled it at the National Train Show.
Yeah.
Okay, so this was this little sort of talking outhouse bundle of Iowa Scaled Engineering, ITLA, and Miniprints. Mini Sounds line was introduced at the National Train Show at the Texas NMRA convention. Chris and I have a mutual friend, James Regier, which some of you might know. And James Regier said to me, do you know Chris? I'd seen Chris in passing. We waved to each other. We'd been at a couple of train shows. I'd certainly heard him on some of the podcasts and, was a fan, liked what he was doing, but didn't really know him per se. And James Regier said, you've got the outhouse, right? And I'm like, yeah, I just brought this shitty product out. He said, well, you got to see what Chris is doing. You have a photograph that you can pop up on the screen?
Actually, I just shared one.
Because at the National Train Show, Chris unveiled a product.
So at the National Train Show, this photograph here is the 6 road names of the Mini High Cube that I had just received the samples of. And there's the 6 of them on the desk. 5 of them were made available at our last show. And the 6th one is the Suffern Hoboken Interstate Transfer mini high cube, and I've got them on the desk. People are looking at them, photographing them. And James Regier and a couple other people said, "Have you heard what Bernard's doing?" And I thought, well, the stars have aligned here. These two products are here at this show in Texas, in my backyard. And I asked James Regier to reach out to Bernard and see if we might be able to do some sort of a photo shoot, just to kind of have fun with the two products. So it was from this display on our table at the National Train Show that people started connecting the dots that we might have something cool going on here.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Should we cue a video?
Yeah, so let's go back to the video here, and let's just take a look and see what you guys have prepared for us.
Hey man, what's happening?
This shit's for real.
This shit? Is this shit happening?
It's happening right now on the number 2 track. As a matter of fact.
Should we show him?
Let's show them.
This crappy idea of ours?
Terrible idea. An outhouse and a shit lines car in one shot. How does that happen?
This shit is happening.
And just like that, it happened.
So when I saw that car, I said, you know what I'm going to do, Chris? I said, I'm going to put a bunch of the outhouses and the figures together, and I will send them to you, and you can bundle them with your cars. So not the sound module, because the sound module is coming separately, but the actual 3D printed outhouse, the laser cut outhouse and the 3D printed figure. And you've created a nice little bundle there, haven't you, Chris?
Yeah, I sure have. And I am sharing it as we speak. I think.
This is absolutely amazing because
all right, so
Mike, there's the comments.
I know.
it's really gold.
I like Paul Belmore's comment.
Jesus is watching.
So the first announcement today here is that the 2 road names of John Bazine's shit lines, Suffern Hoboken Interstate Transfer, are available now at homeshops.net. And you can buy either road number. We have 2 road numbers available as normal. And in here we also have the bundle deal, which will offer a little bit of a discount. You just click on this bundle picture, and it'll take you right to the screen here. And the first part of the bundle is you select one or more of the shit lines cars, add it to your bundle, and you get those at a $4 per car discount if you do it as part of the bundle. Second part is any other road name mini high cube, add one or more to your bundle at a $3 discount per bundle. And I just clicked too fast.
Holy smokes.
And what that does is it unlocks the free $15 value Miniprints outhouse and laser figure. And there you go. You get your bundle, discounts attached, and you can check out. So a lot of folks have really enjoyed the first round of the mini high cubes, and this is an opportunity to get a few more in people's hands with a few dollars off and have some fun with the outhouse kit as well.
This is absolutely fantastic, and I first of all, thank you guys for putting this together. But you'll probably see right now, I have the high cubes running back behind me as we speak here, and they are. You'll see them coming up behind me. I have the whole HomeShops line coming through, and you'll see these high cubes rolling around my rails all night. There's the 3 that I bought from the Lash, and they're good runners, and they look amazing. I cannot believe the fidelity on those replicas. They're just fantastic, Chris.
You gotta see these comments. These comments are just brilliant.
Yeah.
Who needs to pay rent? I have boxcars and grabbers to buy.
But it's I mean, we got that's a real shitty deal.
It is.
And then we're gonna need a toilet paper car next. So, and here's
Those are
one that
you know,
this is
Okay, Chicago, Denver, and Northern. I think you've just won.
yeah, that was good. But there are some Jim Dandy comments here.
Everybody needs to make sure they be careful, because if they're asking for a toilet paper car, they need to watch out about what they might end up wiping out.
Oh,
Wow. Wow. Brad.
We haven't even talked about the sound module. So
Yeah.
one of the things, and I'm not playing it. I will not play it right now because there are limits. However, what I will say is two things. If you would like to buy the outhouse bundle with the sound card, you can head over to miniprints.com/outhouse, and you can purchase that. And if you are one of the lucky ones who jump on it and get the bundle, which is the outhouse and the 3D printed figure, and you would like to add the sound card, which will be released in about a month, the sound module, which comes with the speaker, so it's just plug and play, you can add that after the fact, and that is also available online at miniprints.com/outhouse. So we got you either way.
yeah, that's fantastic. So, again, I just want to thank both you guys for putting this together and displaying it on the show. I can tell you this for a fact: I'm going to be getting a shit car for my road to round out my high cube fleet here, and I'll be grabbing that outhouse because, boy, wouldn't that look nice here in Pine River Junction, right here by the switch? Nice little outhouse for the crew to stop at and clean out. So, and Late Night Model Railroad says just ordered some shitty cars online. And then
That
here's
shit's gonna go fast.
yeah.
they are going fast.
Here's
Yeah.
Shooter Holschbach. Chris Holschbach says, "Sign me up for turdy kits."
Oh my God, Shooter. Oh my God, dude.
Bernard, is the next
Everybody wants
evolution
Taco Bell.
from Mini Sounds? Is Mini Sense going to come after there? perhaps?
Well, it's funny you mention that because yes, actually, I'm already working on it.
Yeah. Here's
I'm not-
another one.
I'm not kidding.
Might be on the same. So we're really evolving into 4D trains this evening. But that's fantastic. So make sure to check out both HomeShops and Miniprints. They have their websites are up and operational. Operators are standing by, as they used to say in the olden day. But make sure that you guys get out there and support these two great companies and order your shitty kits. So as we continue, I've lost it.
Well, I can jump
I
in.
can't believe how some of these you know what? Okay, I'm usually the one that ends up having to I end up with these ideas in my head and I come up with these comments and I really got to watch what I say and everything. Nobody's holding back. Nobody.
Yeah.
These comments are amazing.
Yeah.
They tee up naturally. It really
Oh
was.
yeah.
Yeah, they really
I think Robert Thomas is my second favorite comment of the day. Yeah, there you go.
yeah, we'll manage to offend all five senses.
Absolutely.
Now
Absolutely.
Now I'm
Feeling
feeling wiped.
Wiped.
Well,
So-
I'll throw another announcement in there. How about that?
Yeah. Why don't yeah, what's the other announcement, Bernard?
I have just come up with I've just started doing flat rate shipping. And I wanted to do $8 flat rate shipping.
Okay.
But I'm going to announce it here, and this is going to be limited time. I don't know till when, but for the second section audience, you guys are seeing it first. I'm going to run, or I am running because I just programmed it, a code word free ship, or sorry, ship free. So ship free will give you free shipping on an order of $60 US or more at miniprints.com. So if there is anything that people want, or if they want to peruse the site, if you are less than $60, you'll get an $8 flat rate shipping, which is a really good deal. And if you do end up going over the $59 mark and you hit $60, then your shipping will be free with the code SHIPFREE.
Yeah. And I just want to labor this a little bit here. I'm going to just pull up a couple of pictures of some nice close-ups that they have of these, I guess, the combination of the car and just the car and the outhouse all in its glory here. So just hang on one sec here.
Oh yeah, you've got some close-ups.
Yeah, I got some close-ups here. That
my good Lord!
Doesn't that look great?
No, I'm reading Ron's comment from Ron's Trains. It's Ron. That's amazing. Thank you for clarifying that.
I probably should have.
Oh yeah, here Andy. I'm putting this on there. Yeah, that's ship with a P, folks. P with a P.
Yeah,
ship free, guys.
Oh my goodness! Oh my gosh! And then here we are.
There we go.
You know, we're right there, all up in your face. This looks really good here. You could even put the
Who wears a baseball cap on the toilet?
I do.
Oh man.
What do you
I always hang mine up. So it doesn't fall on the floor.
I mean,
I hang mine on my head.
Oh
yeah, when nature calls, it's tough.
I suppose.
So that's fantastic. So I wanna kick since we got the free ship here out of the way. Chris, I do wanted to toss it back over to you because this was the big announcement tonight. You also have more stuff that we're gonna talk about this evening, and then we're gonna talk about the NVL. And then we're going to do what's on the workbench too tonight. So we got a huge jam-packed show, but I want to kick it back over to Chris to keep her rolling here. So the shit show has been released, and now we want to focus on what's the next thing that HomeShops is coming out with.
Well, the next thing that we're coming out with is the PS4427 covered hoppers, which we had announced, which I introduced on the last show. They were not available for pre-sale, and I'm going to tell you, I got a lot of private messages, a lot of emails. Hey, I saw them on the show, but I noticed they're not available for pre-sale, and that changes now. So the PS4427s are in the U.S. They're arriving soon. And all of the cars are available at homeshops.net for pre-sale at a pre-sale discount of $50.95 each. MSRP for these will be $58.95.
Really?
So if you go to homeshops.net, there's a tab now at the top for pre-sale, and it takes you right to all of the 18 SKUs that are imminent.
So do you mind if I pull that up right now to show the audience? Okay. All right, so I'm going to do that here. Oh, man, I hope I get this right. So, sure. Here we go.
There you go. That's the pre-sale page at the top, and you can scroll down and see what we've got. We've got Mike Conflone's Allagash and 3 road numbers.
Ooh, look at them. Pretty red cars.
And Mr. Conflone did make a post this morning prematurely, so a lot of those have already gone today.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then the Cat Mountain cars are next. Go ahead.
Wow. No, are they really like gone that quick?
A large chunk of them have gone. Yeah. I mean, we'll have them for a few days, but I was surprised that when I took a break from work and looked at the phone and saw there were orders already, I thought somebody let the cat out the bag.
Yeah. And then speaking of cats,
Yeah.
Yes.
To my knowledge and other people that I've asked, this is the first ever factory produced version car in Dave Barrow's Cat Mountain Santa Fe scheme, and we're just thrilled to have it on a Tangent 4427.
That is amazing. After all these years, all I got to say is thank you very much for doing that one for sure. I mean,
You're welcome.
That is such a classic and iconic railroad.
Yep.
yeah, I agree. It's going to look really good rolling around on the Mascoutin Valley. I can tell you that for free. Then we got some other cars here.
Yeah, I've got Devin Jackson's Mesquite Belt, and I see him in the comments there a few places.
Yeah.
We've got Neil Roggensack's Montana Northland. I don't know what that red and yellow car is. Maybe we can find somebody to explain that Neosho Valley Lines to us.
All right, we'll put a pin in that.
We've got the Tennessee Southern, which is Alan Whitaker's freelance model railroad. So that rounds out this offering, and they are available now. And I hope to have them maybe by the end of this month or in November. Not entirely sure, but they're getting close.
So right now, I mean, you're $8 off here, your standard MSRP. So that's a screaming deal in its own right for a Tangent car, and the 4427s are really cool. And Mike, are these high hip or low hip covered hoppers?
These are the high hip cars.
These are the high hip car. Yeah.
These are the more modern car, I guess. These are the second iteration of the 4427s. So
wow.
Yeah, these are sharp. A lot of railroads had these. A lot of railroads had these.
Yeah. Just some of the detail that you guys put into the cars themselves. Do these have little Easter egg items in them as well, like those high cube box cars?
Well, they all have the truss stencil that has a nod to the road owner, the name. I think the Cat Mountain car, it's in the top right corner there. I've got some larger photos I can share, but every car does have that. That's kind of one of our signature features.
Look at that. John 26:18 just ordered. Yeah. I'm going to have to let you guys talk for a little bit on your own so I can go make my orders behind the scenes while we're still talking here. So I can get my stuff. But Chris, did you have a couple of the cars or a couple shots of the cars a little closer up than what we have on the website that we could pull up? And I mean, here's Joey, Late Night Model Railroad says, yep, we got HomeShops takes my money for the second time tonight. Got to have those hoppers. It's going to be an expensive show for me. I can tell you that. Now. Yeah. So this one's going to be pretty expensive. Let me pull down the screen share here, Chris, and we'll see if you can bring something up. But
all right. Yeah, I had something presented. Let me take that down. And all right. So what I'm going to walk through here are basically just higher resolution images of all of the official shots, and we'll just start that here.
All right. Yeah, let us know when you get the screen pulled up. But yeah, this is really, really a cool series of cars that you're releasing here for these covered hoppers. Let me see. All right, here we go. We're going to add to the stage.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to bring them up full screen.
So this is the Allagash car. Most of you who follow the Allagash on his page or familiar with his equipment know that most of it is green or yellow. But Mike Confalone did do a Accurail ACF 4600 covered hopper at one time, and they were red. So in keeping with that theme, this is a red car that matches that. It's kind of the same outline of a plane on one side with the Allagash logo on the other side. And very specific. We sent paint chips to Mike to make sure these were the colors that he wanted, and those paint chips went right to the factory. Just beautiful detail on these cars. So the Allagash, this is our first Allagash car, and we're pretty excited to have that on board. Undershot,
Yeah.
just a beautiful car. And then Cat Mountain Santa Fe, of course. We worked with David Barrow for this car, and I know he's eagerly anticipating getting some in his hands. We talked very recently about that. It just came together. Tangent had the heavy lifting done for a Santa Fe 4427. So it was a relatively easy plug-in to make a spectacular car. You'll notice there's almost not a panel on this car that doesn't have some kind of lettering or detail, and it's exactly like the Santa Fe cars. Most of the photographs that I could find and that David Barrow shared of his equipment, it seemed like his numbering system was about 500,000 above the Santa Fe numbering series. So a lot of the Santa Fe 4427s are in the 407,000 series, 408,000 series, and we kind of went along with that theme. He had some 4750s that were painted by him and numbered accordingly. So that's where we got the number series from. And it's just an undershot. Of course, like the Santa Fe cars, these have got the body mounted or body colored trucks to match the mineral brown car. Mesquite Belt here. This is Devin Jackson's railroad. He has a layout in Palestine, Texas. He's a big Katie fan and has a Katie influence. We did talk about this car. I think we didn't have these same photographs on the last episode. These are newer production photos, but you can see that blue color that's unique to his railroad. It's actually a Tester spray enamel that's out of print that I found or out of production. That I
Really
found a $30 bottle on eBay, and we sprayed paint chips or sprayed a paint chip and sent to the factory, and they matched it nicely. So he's got some equipment painted.
It's a pretty car.
Mm-hmm. And Devin has some personal connection with the Southern Pacific, and you can see the Southern Pacific speed lettering style in the Mesquite Belt logo. That's intentional. And of course, the end details. I mean, Tangent cars have the defect card, and it even says defect card, right there. Stuff you can almost not see on most other models. Is fantastic stuff. For this, it represents a repainted car, and we wanted to go with the metal colored roof locks on it because that was appropriate for that effect. Montana Northland is Neil Roggensack's freelance model railroad. He's in the Prairie Rail group up in the La Crosse, Wisconsin area, and there's a large model railroad community up there. And this is one of the outstanding freelances in that community. And a number of people said, "What are you going to do one of Neil's cars?" And we now have one of Neil's cars, and it's just. I liked the Gulf Ship Island, the white 4750 we did. This is the second white hopper, and some people have just done some stunning weathering on those Gulf Ship Island cars. So I'm looking forward to seeing what we do here. The font, I think, is the UP Streamliner font for the reporting marks and the name, and then all of the data is designed to match a car of this build date off of Pullman Standards assembly line. It represents a new built car. This here is the Neosho Valley Lines car, and I've got a photograph that we'll show later. Mr. Brad, say it again.
Bourbony.
All right, Bourbony. All right. So we have a mutual friend, Daniel Archer, of our very first release of cars with the PS 4750. And Daniel Archer has the West Falls Northern, which is one of the cars in that release. And he put the bug in my ear. You've got to reach out to Brad. You need to do a Neosho Valley Lines car. And so I did reach out, and we had a lengthy conversation over time about what a Neosho Valley car would look like. And Brad's going to show you some of his custom painted stuff. And
it's beautiful.
This car here, as we were talking about prototype influence, we kind of, the red and yellow colors reminded me of the Illinois Terminal hopper car, which is the exact inverse of this, with a red bottom and a yellow top. And that was kind of the prototype tie we pulled into the design of this paint scheme. And we'll show a side-by-side picture, but the colors are matched exactly to the Illinois Terminal colors, but inverse. And like that Montana Northland car, I'm excited to see what folks are going to do with these, with the weathering on it. They're just going to be some stunning cars.
Yeah.
And last on the lineup here is the Tennessee Southern. Some of you may have been following his Facebook page and his YouTube channel. He's got a pretty stunning orange and black Locomotive paint scheme. He uses the ESPN font on his equipment, and he's got that Texas Tornado logo, and we incorporated that in this car, which I think is also the first ever Tennessee Southern factory painted car. This represents a repainted car, so it's got more streamlined data and appropriate for a repaint. So those are the 6 road names of the 4427s that are now available for pre-sale.
That's awesome. And those are some really cool paint schemes. Every one of those cars. They all turned out so good. And again, hashtag not sponsored, because Mike and I, we don't get any kickback for having these guys on. But this is just my personal review. I did a review on like a little short of these cars, but they're incredible. So I know a lot of people in the chat though are asking N scale. I'm ready for you to take my money if you put something out in N scale. So we just want to make sure that shot across the bow is received loud and clear, Chris.
It's duly noted and on the radar.
Yeah, that's for sure. So, but we have Brad here going to talk to us a bit about the NVL. So one of the cars that you talked about, to give us kind of like a railroad bio of what goes into, or I guess the car, that the railroad behind the car that you're putting out. So, Brad, why don't you give us a little background history on the Neosho Valley Lines, and kind of just walk through some of the stuff that we talked about last night in the pre-show, to say, how did it start, and what you're doing with it today.
Yeah. Okay. So first off, I want to acknowledge that the NVL, the Neosho Valley Lines, as a concept, began with the Cherry Valley Model Railroad Club in Cherryville, Kansas. When I was younger, I was part of that group. Still friends with many of them, and when they decided to move to a prototype operation, they're modeling the Santa Fe, the Katy, and the Mop in Southeast Kansas. I was like, can I please have the NVL stuff and do my own thing with it? And they were like, okay, sure. So they did. I got the decals from them, which was fun because I helped them design it. We all worked together to make the NVL decals to begin with. And then I kind of made up my own little backstory and made it my own. So it is a spinoff of Missouri Pacific. Started out as a spinoff of Missouri Pacific branch lines that we bought in 1956 when the Missouri Pacific came out of receivership. The Mop was one of the longest railroads to be in receivership in of any of them that came out of the 20s. And the NVL jumped on an opportunity to divest them of some properties that they could have held on to, but decided they didn't want to. And then around 1979-ish, when the Rock Island started to, slowly die, the
Paint their stuff
NPL
blue.
have quite a bit of cash in our coffers. So you know what? We're going to jump in before the UP does.
There you go.
And we won the bid, so we got that. While that was going on, the Milwaukee Road was also dealing with some bankruptcy issues. And so the whole the Pacific extension from Minneapolis west was suddenly there. So, it's my fantasy model railroad. So we bought that too. We made it all work. So now we have grain from the Pacific Northwest all the way to the Gulf Coast, one railroad. And that was the whole concept behind it, which leads me into why it was actually before we bought all this stuff, but in 1971-ish, I think is what we decided, Chris.
Yeah.
Was that?
I think so.
Right around in there is
okay.
We were like, we had some PS2s, some 4427s, and they're white. But we wanted something with some zing because our locomotive paint scheme was red, yellow, and at one time it was green, and then they switched to black. So we designed the 4427s, ordered them, tacked them onto the end of a Missouri Pacific order, and the next thing you know, we've got these blazing hot covered hoppers going over. Those were nice enough that that the railroad decided that a few years later, that when the 4750s really started getting into production, that we were going to do another group of those in the same paint scheme in the 4750s. Then somebody from the mechanical department decided, well, maybe we should do some ACF, some 3-bay center flows, since we have a bunch of those. He concepted that, and management was like, no, that's not going to, no, those don't look good at all. So the ACF center flows stay white. But yeah, that's pretty much why we have those, and that's a base overview of the Neosho Valley Lines.
Okay.
I have some pictures of the stuff I've done. And here's the bigger thing. This whole concept that I come up with, Dave Barrow, Cat Mountain and Santa Fe.
Yeah.
That was always one of the railroads that I looked at that was like, this is amazing. I want to be able to do that, which is why I'm freelance and not prototype. Ohio Southern was another one. The Bina, the A&M, even the Milwaukee Racine and Troy to a certain degree. Eric Rubin's Utah Belt.
Yes.
These are all freelance guys that did prototypes looking stuff, and you see that and you look at it and you're like, I've got this idea in my head, and these guys have already shown me that it can be done, so let's give it a shot and see what we can do. So should I hit present? Or
why don't you? I think it would be a great time for you to do that. Let's do the present, and then if you have pictures in the queue, go to window, and you should be able to bring up a window with your pictures in it.
Yep, I already got that queued up. And we're going to find.
All right. Let's see here. Oh, I got something coming up. Here we go. We'll add that to the stage. All right.
Okay, so first off, let's do some of the cars. So the 4427s and the 4750s.
Okay.
These are actually 4750s.
Okay.
I believe these are actually Ather and Blue Box, if I'm not mistaken.
Nice.
This scheme, if you will notice, has a different font and different arrowhead herald style.
Okay.
I modeled 2 arrows. I model right around 1980, 1981. And then I have times when I want to get a little bit farther ahead, and I model 1988, 1989, right in that area.
Okay.
Brad,
Can you
open the pictures there, Brad?
Oh, I thought it did.
or
No.
otherwise, what we'll do is we'll bring you up on a different window. So if you do the stop share and do the window thing all over again, we'll bring that up. But whilst we're doing that, so what made you do the like the split era or the split time frame? What was the main thought? I think we're just about to get to that, but it was one of the questions that popped into my head immediately. Oh, here we go. This looks good. Yes.
Well, there were two things. Number one, I was constantly tweaking with my paint scheme in general and what I wanted to do and how I wanted to do it. Briefly had an existential crisis where I wanted everything to be blue, and that turned out to be the worst idea I've ever had. But I wanted to take, I got to eventually I was like, I like where I'm at in the very early 1980s when my 4427s are kind of aged. They're still clean, but they're starting to get dirty.
There you go.
And those cars inspired the Locomotive department to change up their paint scheme a little bit, especially after the Santa Fe, the SPSF merger failed. So the next iteration of the NVL Locomotive scheme, which I'll show you here in a bit, is actually because the the SPSF scheme merger and the Kodachrome scheme that came with it when it was going to go away.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, that's the inspiration kind of for this car, and this font is just something that I looked at and I fell in love with.
Sure.
There's no other reason for that. I saw the font when I was playing around. I'm like, oh no, that's it. So, but these are the cars that are actually the inspiration for the 4427s. This is the 4750 series that came out that we ordered just after that. Being an ex-Missouri Pacific property, we kind of followed in their footsteps and went with the small circular herald right there between the ribs and the very basic paint scheme and everything for it.
Is that like the Mopac saw blade type?
Yes.
Yeah,
that would be. Yeah, that would be equivalent to the Buzzsaw Herald. And then, of course, this one would be roughly the Buzzsaw Eagle with the Screaming Eagle laid over the Buzzsaw in the later, 1982, I believe, is when that one started. No, 1980, roughly, somewhere around in there.
It's cool how you drew that from the Mopac.
Well,
I love the Mopac.
I know.
I'll show you something, and this is why the Mopac is so huge, such a huge influence. This is my hometown of Hudson, Kansas. This is Hudson Cream Flour, who for years has been one of the largest exporters of flour in the entire United States.
Wow.
The town had 88 people. My house is just, you see this, there's a little street corner right here, and right, this corner is part of my front yard.
Wow.
But watching the mop serve this facility every other day, one north or westbound one day, eastbound the next, coming through town, switching out the elevator, covered hoppers almost always in the side track up here.
Sure.
That's imagery that never leaves, and that's why there's a really heavy Missouri Pacific influence in a lot of what I do.
I got a secret to share with the audience. I think the Mopac is one of those dirty little secret railroads that I would model.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually belong to the Missouri Pacific Historical Society.
You do?
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah. I joined when I went down to St. Louis this time. I'm like, I'm doing it. I don't care what anybody says.
yeah, that's cool. No, that's really awesome, Brad. That you drew a lot of that inspiration from the Mopac, and this is I just love big grain elevator type processing type plants anyway. So this is just cool to add to the show as well, and it just shows you. So, you still live right across the street from this place?
No,
No.
unfortunately, I don't. My dad lived in Great Bend, worked in Great Bend, and
Yeah.
in the late '80s got transferred to Southeast Kansas. So that's where I live now. I live in Pittsburgh, Kansas. Oh, lovely
Okay.
segue. I am also a graduate of Pittsburgh State University, and
Haha.
we at the NVL and its parent company, Sexton Weigel Holdings, really like our alma mater.
Oh my gosh.
So
That's awesome.
That's
also
cool.
designed my real world job at Watco. The SKO Railroad also has a Pittsburgh State University commemorative unit that works here in town, but it's a Jeep 38, and I'm Alco, and then you know what? If I'm Alco, I'm going to go big because this is my alma mater. So they have a whole bunch of my money, so they need a big Alco.
Yeah.
So yeah, when I finish
So what
that,
is that?
it's
Is
a
that a
C628.
C628?
Yep.
Oh man, I got a bunch of those in high hoods in Chicago Northwestern. So let's touch on that. Let's touch on that just a bit here. So, we're I know we're getting into the paint scheme and we're kind of jumping around a bit, talking Mopac and all that good stuff. But why Alco? So like you're just an Alco road. You have nothing but Alcos on your model railroad.
Not entirely true. Mostly true, but not entirely true.
Okay.
I do have a couple of Baldwins.
There we go.
4 and 6 axle both. So I got a couple of AS16s. I got a few AS616s. But Alco, I don't know why, but man, you see an Alco and you're like, dang, that's a locomotive right there.
Yeah.
That is just the lines. And of course, if you happen to hear one run, like for example, go down to the A&M or the, out west, I still have to go out east to the Delaware, Lackawanna and all of that and listen to them operate, but they sound amazing. Yes. What kind of nut would have only Alco split rock? This kind of nut right here.
And then Robert Thomas, go Gorillas.
Thank you, Robert. Once a gorilla, always a gorilla, baby. So yeah, you can see too that I have experimented with other paint schemes. I also need to give a shout out, for example, this paint scheme on the black, and then with the yellow Neosho Valley Lines. Those decals were done by Circus City.
Nice.
So thank you to him because, as always, fantastic job with those. That paint scheme just ultimately didn't go anywhere. Management didn't approve.
Management didn't approve.
But
I like that how you diversify. You just your fleet is diversified in how it looks. You stick with the same the primary colors, but except for the black ones up in the front here. But I think that's really cool how you kind of mix and match the cigar bands and stuff like that.
Thanks. And the gray and black one here at the bottom left, I don't have a better picture of that. But those were, I think John Woodlock has those now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But those were painted as an homage to the Cherry Valley Motor Railroad Club's original concept, which was to have the NVL's paint scheme be very CB&Q inspired.
Sure.
So I thought I tried to do something similar with that, and it looked okay, but it just, I'm a Cardinals fan and a Chiefs fan and everything else, and Pitt State's red and gold, so I just couldn't switch away from those colors.
Yeah, and red really stands out too on like if you were to think of your model railroad as like a stage, right? And the equipment's the actor, that red it's gonna pop. So yeah, why not, right?
Right. Now wait and see how those look with a string of HomeShops 4427s right behind it.
I can't wait.
I'm
I
excited.
cannot wait.
But yeah, all of this stuff, I mean, I got to give credit, like I said, to those freelance guys that I used to see in Model Railroader and
Sure.
RMC all the time. I would have probably modeled the mop and been fine with it because I love the Mopac, and I'm going to have a whole bunch of Mopac stuff on here. You can see the air slide back in the background, as a matter of fact.
There you go.
But ultimately, the ability to do this and be in my own way creative and come up with new takes on existing concepts like this right here. This is an updated Neosho Valley Lines mid 1980s paint scheme. But even without that, you've got the hood mounted horn on the other side, the bells mounted along the long hood, like the mop did. Those kind of things, you can take those prototype influences and then kind of jazz it up and do your own thing with it. And that's the part that I've always had the most fun with.
So is that what really drew you to the freelance, was being able to, I guess what was the big, we talked about the inspiration, but it has to be a little bit deeper than that, right? I mean, what is that thing underneath the thing that you really love about being a freelance model railroader?
It's the opportunity to make my railroad mine, and a lot of times you'll hear, you got to have your prototype influences. And I get that. Mm-hmm. And that makes sense. But at the same time, your railroad is your railroad. And the philosophy behind this entire hobby is to spend a whole bunch of money and actually try to have fun with it now that you've spent all that money.
Yes.
So for me, that's the freelance opportunity. I can take the mop wasn't an Alco road. They had some Alcos, and the Jeep 12s and the Jeep 16s were cool, but they're not easy to model. And I like pure Alcos. So that's what I want to stick with as much as possible. So that's what I did. But I can take those little mop influences, like where the bell's mounted, like the paint scheme on the covered hoppers, and I can make that my own a little bit and give it my flair while using the influence that I've gained from the prototype and watching it for years.
Mm.
And oh, by the way, for the most part, with the except like this engine right here on the screen, except for the little circular herald, the decals that are on this, the black stripes, I didn't make those, but everything else, I printed those.
Really?
I don't screen print them or anything with the skill that Matt Welke, Circus City, or anybody like that, for example.
Yeah.
But I have a laser printer at home, and I can order decal film. And if you know the rules, which is basically if you're printing your own decals through a laser printer, you have to remember that you cannot put light colored lettering on dark colored paint because they print translucent. So you have to do dark on light, which is why you have yellow background with red lettering here.
Sure.
But if you remember to follow the rules, you can make a lot of your own decals and do things for your own equipment without spending a whole lot of money. Like these cars right here. Again, my hometown.
Yeah.
Flour mill. They never had cars like this. So this is the freelance ability that you have, because I can make those, right? But I also made those decals. I did those myself.
So let's we're gonna get into a little bit of an educational, possibly a brief clinic here. Do you pre-treat the paper with anything, or after you do the printing with like a decal? Like Testers has a decal spray, right? Do you do
The
anything?
clear coat, gloss coat.
Yeah, yeah.
Afterwards, yes. You don't want to do that beforehand. I've actually
Aha.
done that, and I almost ruined my printer.
Oh man.
If you have a laser printer, it prints by heating the paper and the ink, right? So if you do that, if you've got a coating of gloss coat on there, that heats up and it gets sticky.
Yeah.
And it comes off on the print rollers. So the very next job you run has artifacts that you don't want on it because the rollers got sticky stuff on them. So afterwards, though, definitely hose them down good with a gloss coat, let it dry, and then you're ready to go. I mean, depending on the decal film you use, it's easy as cake, really. I mean, I just noticed two comments that these cars look gorgeous. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. If there was a way to offer these for sale, I would. But this trademark is currently owned by.
Brad,
I have to get permission from the elevator, from the business first. Now I do have family that works for them that runs it, but I could ask.
Brad, we might be able to hook you up with somebody that might be able to help you with that.
Yeah, if I get permission, then we can move forward with that. Chris,
yeah, let us know, and we'll get a hold of it. There's this Chris Palmieri guy. He's great work.
Never heard of him.
Yeah,
I've heard of him. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did some ACFs too for the Stafford County flour mills.
Those look good too.
I like those.
Yeah.
I made these. I found the font that matched, and I talk a lot with well, not a lot, but I've talked back and forth a few times with Patrick Harris and how he comes up with inspiration for his elevator cars that he makes. And so that's where this was born. And between that and then yanking the logo off of the Flour Mills website, sorry, Rule, I will get with you later about it. It's okay. Distant cousins actually run the mill. So, but that's where all that comes from. And it is not nearly as hard to do as you might think. I am not a Photoshop person. So a lot of this was done in the most basic way possible with Paint and MS Word. That's it.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
You're a man after my own heart. I am not a Photoshop guy either.
I've tried a couple times, and I've gotten to the point to where I open a file and I look at it and I'm like, yeah, no, that's not gonna that ain't gonna work. So anyway, and then my railroad has a brewery and distillery, and it has a cooperage on it for the brewery and distillery. So I needed a couple cars for that. So then once again, here you go.
That's awesome.
Made a logo, made up a reporting mark that hadn't been used in this time frame, and printed off some decals, and there you go. Lime green, yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, and then there's going to be somewhere around there, there's some people running around with these cars on their layout.
Really?
Yeah. I had several of these, so I sold a few of them off. My goal was to get the diesel hydraulic, the C643 in brass that the had. So I sold some of these cars off to make that happen, and then got it, and it was junk. So but anyway, yeah, we've got, this is our cement hoppers, center flow cement hoppers. I have plenty more to paint, so I'm not sore about it or anything. But it's just one of those one of those situations like, here, how about this?
Oh, hey, high
Like a
cube.
40-foot high cube. It's a plug door, and I need some sliding doors, Chris. I need a few of those with a sliding door.
Hint, 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 hint. Looks like there's quite a lot of content here for the to keep freelancers busy. That's for sure.
Yeah, well, and here's why I'm being so self-aggrandizing and showing all of this stuff off. Like I said, all of this stuff I printed, except for like the Neosho Valley Lines Herald. Those came from the Model Railroad Club when we had those produced. But every
Sure.
other data mark and lettering on this car, I printed those with a printer. And if you have a laser printer or you have access to a laser printer and any kind of skill with Microsoft Word whatsoever, you can do this. And a lot of people, I talk to a lot of railroaders and they're like, can't get over the hurdle of, well, I want to freelance, but I don't want to, because where do I get my decals? Where do I do this? Having somebody make them is expensive. It is. It's worth it because, again, where'd it go? Come here. Come on. Here we go. So, like the lettering for this engine was made by.
Oh, I like that.
That's hot.
Now you understand why I went to like 1988, 1989 and used the SPSF influence.
Hey, hang on one second, Brad. So I know Miniprints is on the call, but he does have a really good question here. And I know Ralph Franzetti brought something up as well. So you're talking about making your own decals and stuff like that. So what decal paper do you like to use with your printer?
Give me 10 seconds.
All right.
I don't remember the brand, but give me 10 seconds.
That's all right. We'll do a little bit of an interlude here.
Well, it's funny because I ask. It's something I've always wanted to do, and I've never done it. I've always used pdc.ca, who makes amazing decals.
Yeah, Bill Brillinger, right?
Yeah, he does all the stuff, and I actually had like mini print tank car decals made up with mini print photopolymer resin because I can't print in white. So I've always used Bill for those, but the idea of sort of putting something through a laser printer, it would be fun to experiment. I mean, I'm not sure I'd get the same quality, but these are looking pretty compelling. So I'd love to try it.
Well, yeah, and again, like this engine here, the NVL was done by Matt Welke by Circus City, and I printed the number, the unit, the locomotive number, but I had him do that because again, you can't print light and then put it on dark. It washes it out. Found that out the hard way. Also found it. This is the. Come on, camera.
Expert choice.
Oh man, I wish I could remember who I get these from. Bare Metal Foil Company.
Okay.
Well,
Bare Metal Foil is the company that makes this. It's great stuff. It's pretty inexpensive, really. So if you already have a laser printer or something, or even an inkjet, if you're careful, then you can. There you go. You can make your own decals.
Nice. So we'll bring you back here. Now we can dive into the Kodachrome.
Yeah, this is the only one right now. I've done one. Obviously, I haven't finished it yet. But when it's done, it'll have an arrowhead under the cab. That looks so good. Right now, there is I tried to make a cigar band for the nose, but it did not turn out well. So that's why this photograph doesn't show it, because it looks like garbage. So it'll have an arrowhead on the nose and silver trucks. Chris, I think I talked to you about the cigar band, didn't I?
Oh my God.
And you were like, no, use an arrowhead.
Yeah, I seem to recall that.
But it'll have silver trucks and yellow handrails, all that good stuff when it's done. But I mean, I've always been a big fan of the Kodachrome stuff. So again, that and that kind of Rio Grande speed lettering reminiscent look to it. I couldn't not do this.
Yeah, it's a really cool locomotive.
Cars, which are red, yellow, and black.
I love this. I absolutely love this.
Yeah, I currently have 2 6-axles, a couple of a 628 and a C630 sitting waiting in the primer booth, ready to get this paint as well. Those will go up on the NVL, of course, has a Facebook page. I mean, who doesn't nowadays?
Right.
And it will, those, when they get done, they will be up on the Facebook page too. So
yeah, Dave. So Dave Nitch says bare metal foil company is from the model car world.
yeah.
Armor modelers and vehicle modelers. So yeah,
On his website, he even mentions that it's model aircraft and model cars is primary focus. But yeah, the decal film is great for model railroad stuff. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's
Ever
really
had
cool.
thoughts? I mean, I think this is a 3-sheet, and I don't quote me on price, but it was maybe, I think it's like $4 a sheet, so like $12.
It's not expensive.
They've got clear, they've got white. So if you have something that, you know, and you're skilled with your scissors, you can print it on white background. And well, actually, come to think of it, this right here, that NVL Herald was printed on their white decal film.
Really?
Yeah. It is pure white. It blends in perfectly with white reefer white paint. So modelers, there you go.
Wow, that's awesome. Because I know printing white is always a challenge, right? But if you have the decal film already set up to go for that white background, and if it blends in just like that, that looks really sharp. So that's a good option for us. Oh, what's this?
And and again, I'm
oh, that's slick.
I'm completely showing off at this point, but that's
okay. You're allowed.
So all 3 of my kids went to Pittsburgh community schools from Pittsburgh, Kansas. Their mascot is the purple dragon. So I wanted to do something to commemorate them, and this is what I came up with.
It's very cool.
Again, the dragon, that is their mascot. It's ganked straight off of their website, along with the Pittsburgh Community Schools lettering and the little P here. There's also a larger version of the P on the nose. But I just, just concept it out and then see how it looks. And I try to build the decals. And if they look like they're coming together nice, I'll print them off. And if they print nice, then I go to, okay, time to paint and see how it goes.
That's super awesome. I love that. That is amazing.
I'm not afraid to print off, just if I like it and I want to try it, I'm going to try it. Denver, Memphis, and Atlantic. This is another subsidiary owned by Sexton Weigel Holdings. That company name is both of my grandmothers, their maiden names combined together. All these decals being made on laser printers. Yes. It's an HP laser printer. It's about 9 years old. So I'm kind of limping along right now, but as long as I don't have to buy a new one or because it breaks or because they don't make cartridges for it anymore, cool. Thank you. My kids love the engine because it's their school, their alma mater, their high school alma mater. I had fun doing it. I do click the right screen there. Stuff like this. I fiddle. Yes, it's an EMD. Don't go there.
No, I'm not dogging you for that. I'm just amazed that like all the different schemes you've come up with. Like just all the creativity, the different colors, the way that the cigar band goes around or is cut in, at an angle from behind the cab, those types of things. It's remarkable and really, really unique. I love this.
Wow, thank you. I really appreciate that. I guess it's time to show off the bicentennial unit now.
No way. Mike, buckle up.
Oh, look at that. I love that. I love the stars on that one. I like the stars right away out of the gate on that.
So the stars, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, are from one of the Pioneer missions, I think, or not Apollo, but right before that. And I'm showing
the Mercury. Mercury's. Yeah.
I believe it was one of the, yes, I believe it was the Mercury missions that used that star, if I'm not mistaken. Really showing off my history degree here. But this is another one of those things where you're, okay, what era am I modeling? Am I in being recovering? You don't have to stay on mute, though.
Well, I know. I don't want to interrupt. I mean, these are amazing. Like, I'm just kind of like thinking all the things that I want to do, and it's like I'm gonna have to like step away from the printers for a couple hours. These are great. I mean, you don't like the imagination here. What I love about this is that it's unique, and you can create like really nice prototypical stuff, but sort of like give it a little bit of, zhuzh it up a bit, give it a bit of pizzazz.
Right.
These are awesome.
Like,
the creativity is off the charts.
Thank you. I am genuinely humbled by that. Considering I had to follow your shit, so.
Well, I got news for you. You got good shit too.
Thank you.
Oh man.
It's really fun. It's really fun though, because it's like you get in the habit, modeling like a Genesee and Wyoming shoreline. It's like, it's like, why not like go a little bit outside the box?
Mm-hmm.
It's fun.
Otherwise it's orange.
One thing too is bicentennial units are something that are kind of neglected for guys who model the mid to late 70s, very early 80s, because now while those paint schemes, a lot of them were only like a couple of years old and they got repainted, that's kind of, railroads did all sorts of crazy things. I mean, we're going to take Kansas City Southern out of the mix with whatever the heck that was that they decided to do.
Oh dear.
Yeah, with what was it, like 26 different colors. Each door is a different color, and it's the grade school kids, the whole 9 yards. Yeah, it's
the Moby Dick of model railroading, right? The white whale.
But I mean, I've had it in my mind, in the back of my mind, and I mentioned this to Andy one time before, that I think it would be cool to get a bunch of freelance model railroaders to do bicentennial paint schemes and then stage them on a module just like the real railroads did in Chicago.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
Where all of the bicentennial units were lined up from all over, all the railroads in Chicago and all over they all sent units there and to be displayed. And I think that would be one heck of a cool shot to just build a module and then have all these freelance railroad bicentennial units displayed on it. I think it would be kind of a slick idea.
That would be awesome. That would look fantastic. It would probably motivate me to actually get all the stupid little details on this one, the grab irons and all that crap.
Yeah.
And finish it. So, yeah. But yeah, with this one, see, you look at them and they're all unique, but they all kind of have a theme. And you're like, okay, how do I do this, but do it a little bit different? Originally, my original design for that, for this car was, and God knows I probably won't be able to share it. We'll see. Oh yeah, here we go. So let me. I keep everything, and that's another thing. If you are a concept or a design art, do it. Keep everything. Don't get rid of any of it, because you never know when you may want to go back and look at it again. All right, where are you at? I said I keep everything, and I probably deleted this one somehow. Yeah, there it is. So this was the initial concept for the Bicentennial unit.
Oh, I like that.
I mean, it looks really neat, and it's really nice. But the more I looked at it, the more I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of bored. So there, I switched it to this, and now there's what the finished product will end up looking like. That's actually an RS36, but same concept, right?
Same concept, yeah.
So you got the same colors, the same general idea, but a little bit neater design, a little different, something to make it just go, that's cool. And that Spirit of 76 logo that I found, because I knew it existed, but it didn't exist on any of the Bicentennial units. So I went, there's my hook. I can use that because nobody else did. So that makes, again, got to feed my rapacious ego. That makes my unit unique. And the end result was worth it.
Yeah. So, Chris, looks like you have one up on the side there.
Well, yeah, Mike's comment reminded me that there's actually several HomeShops railroads who have done Bicentennial and Locomotive, and I've got in queue here. That's Joe Lyons' Arkansas Valley. He's got a big Alco also, I think, that's in a Bicentennial scheme, but
it's right behind it.
There's a lot of fellas that have done them, and maybe there needs to be a HomeShops Bicentennial calendar or something,
Ooh, there you go.
I like the idea of that. I know we have a couple of people, I think it was the KTR, Care Terminal Railway, said that they wanted to push one up as well. So that would be kind of fun to bring out too. He does some cool stuff as well. So yeah, let's do some Bicentennial stuff. Down for that.
That'd be cool. I mean, and that would like I said, that would motivate me to actually try and get the details and everything done on this one.
Yeah.
Because these Atlas, especially the newer Atlas units, and a lot of my roster is the 6-axle units are Stewart, right before they went to Bowser, and there's a couple of Atlas classics, and I've got a crap ton of Atlas yellow boxes. I'm leaning heavily on my 4-axle Atlas yellow boxes because they're already pretty well detailed, even if they're molded in. So I don't have to do anything like drill tiny holes and stuff like that.
Yeah, right.
I'm very intimidated about doing that. But yeah, a calendar with all of us freelancers doing our Bicentennial stuff, that'd be fantastic.
It'll be the perfect display calendar for the outhouse.
Yeah, there you go. Dan.
Come full circle. Yeah.
That's awesome.
There you go, Dan. Way to go. Way to go. Yeah, so this is really remarkable here, Brad. Just the creativity that you've put into this. I love the backstory. I think that's one of my favorite things about, freelance model railroads is that, it's not just, well, I was sitting here one day and I made this cool logo and I'm going to put it on a locomotive, right? You talked about, we purchased some decrepit railroad, we got bits of the Milwaukee Road, the Rock Island before, the rest of the evil empires could snatch it up. And I just love the thought that you've put into it, in addition to just how you built out your roster. And it's like a real railroad would do it, right? It's nothing to say that the Neosho Valley Lines couldn't, if you didn't know any better, you would say, oh my God, that's a real railroad, based on how that you're going about setting all this up. So I'm really impressed.
Thank you. I mean, and that is my goal. It's not as hard as it sounds when you get started on it, especially if you kind of have those prototype railroads that you like. So for example, the Missouri Pacific, that's my influence. I'm not really, there's Daniel.
Yeah.
But I don't do EMD stuff like the MOP did, like every
Right.
SD-2 and every Jeep 38-2 in existence. And let's throw some Jeep 15s in it. I wanted to do Alcos, but I still wanted to construct and balance my roster kind of in a similar fashion to what they did, because what they did worked. As a prototype, the way they operated and what they did and what they used worked. So for your freelance road, think of the influences, tweak what you want to tweak, and then roll with it and see, try to see if you can adopt their practices to see what works for your freelance road.
Yeah. That's real good advice for anyone who's wanting to, dive into the freelance world. I highly recommend it, by the way.
I concur.
Yeah, this is a beautiful shot you have up here, Chris.
Yeah, that's one of Daniel Archer's bicentennial units.
And if you're talking, Chris, I think I got you on double secret probation mute.
How about now?
Sound much better.
This locomotive and all of Daniel Archer's stuff is painted by John Bazian of the Shit Lines. That's some of his work, and I would like to get back and talk just a little bit more about him at some point. But what I've heard, what we've heard from Brad is very much what I hear in my conversations with all of the freelance owners that I get to develop projects with. It all starts with, what did they see, when they were young in their formative years. He remembers that corner of his lot, that photograph, and that early fascination with railroading is the hook. And then he had the introduction to, the Cherry Valley Model Railroad Club and that freelance concept. And, a lot of folks just want to put together the pieces of what it is about their early railroading experience that makes this hobby something that they enjoy. So we got to hear all about the different pieces that Brad has put together to form the Neosho Valley Lines. And man, there's a lot of people who have these bicentennial engines, but it's interesting. What did you call it when we talked earlier? The 6 degrees of separation there.
Yeah.
Daniel Archer, was one of the very first freelance model railroaders we worked with. Very influential for Daniel is John Bazian, who does the painting for Daniel, and he has a outfit called Southern Tier Model Works, where he does custom painting. And then we've now got his Suffering Hoboken Interstate Transfer car, and Brad, it's just interesting how this community is all, in some way, we all seem to touch each other or know each other in some way or another. We're not that far, and here it is. These two folks have done a bicentennial engine as well, and they all look different, just like all the prototype railroads had their own bicentennial locomotives. No two of them looked even similar, I think. So it is in the freelance world.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I could probably find 2 more bicentennial, but it's really cool to see everybody have their own flair on a similar concept.
Yeah, and I'm gonna pass the screen back over to Brad here. I think he's got a couple left here. It looks like just another. Oh, it's a wide cab.
Yeah, this one I wanted to show you because this is from back in the day,
Can you
which is
zoom in
why it's
just
a
a
lower
hair,
pixel
Bear?
count. What?
Can you zoom in just a hair?
I
Make it a
can
little.
try, but it's an old camera. There we go.
Oh, that's perfect right
Okay.
there. Hit it.
So one of the guys in the Cherry Valley Model Railroad Club, John Doogie, was a big fan of the Chicago Northwestern. And this is right around the time where the Lightning Stripe GEs came out. And so I got this bright idea to take those colors, flip them a little bit to fit, the Herald, as you can see on the battery box here, and paint an SD60M in NVL Lightning Stripe colors. And that's how it ended up. That
looks great.
early iteration of my work. And believe it or not, it's believable. That was done with a brush.
Okay.
Not with an airbrush. That was done with a brush.
Oh man. Yeah, you can see the C&W lightning stripe there. The influence there, and then the green and yellow. That's cool.
Yeah, and I mean, and again, that's where inspiration, when it strikes, it's just kind of there,
Yeah.
And those C&W units, when they came out, oh yeah, here's my engine shop.
Yeah, this was the cool thing. Yeah.
But when those C&W units, when they came out, I mean, you saw those and you're like, oh, those are cool. Those look great. And then the UP came along and bleeped it all up. But for a while, we had something really cool. And those are the kind of things that serve as inspiration. Like you see the C425 over here on the left. The original, this NVL paint scheme was kind of inspired by one of my modern railroads, one of the Watco roads, the Wisconsin and Southern. It's not exactly the same, but it has similar influences. I just simplified it a little bit because I needed something that was closer to my talent level. But you can find inspiration in the prototype world and still bring it over to your freelance without violating any sacred rules.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, question in from Anthony Borden here. Do you weather your engines?
Well, that RS3 sitting in the middle track there, yes.
Yeah.
Have I gotten to any of my other ones? Not yet. Again, that is another thing. That's a technique that takes time to develop the talent and the skill, and I'm still working on that. So,
yeah. And then, are we going to see that?
I just want to point out that we have already violated sacred rules tonight, so I don't think there's any risk of.
We
What's
did.
that? What's that? Are we going to see the stuff again, or
No? We violated all the rules. So.
Oh no.
Did yeah, fair enough.
Well, I didn't know him, so I'm innocent.
What Bernard? I'm not picking up on what you're putting down.
Oh, no, he said he didn't want to violate any sacred rules, and that happened a long time ago on this pod.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I feel better now because I was like, wait, what did I say?
I am slow on the uptake.
No. We violated all the sacred rules in about the first 10 minutes.
Yeah,
I was like, I only usually say something that violates the rules when I'm at work. So I do want to point out, as far as an attention to detail thing, you see the fire extinguisher indicator and then the little fire extinguisher down here. I had put photos of this on Facebook just to show it off a little bit because I was proud of it. And I had one comment on there that said, it's really neat, but you should probably have your fire extinguishers should probably have a red indicator and the arrow thing on them, even if this is the 1980s, because they would have had that back then. And I was like, oh crap, you're right. So again, you go to the internet, you find what you can find. I printed these on paper cut them out, and glued it to the post.
All these details you can just do yourself.
Yeah.
I'm thinking there's a lot of opportunities for Miniprints products in that diesel shop.
Hey.
Yes, there is.
Yep. And I'm open to, I mean, absolutely. If anybody wants to suggest things, Bernard at miniprints.com, or go to the website and email me. But always looking for ideas.
I had a friend of mine actually, and it wasn't kind of like the outhouse sounds thing. But he said, what if you could make one of your little sound modules do like telegraph key sounds from a depot, or something like that. That was something he threw at me on Facebook Messenger here a few minutes ago, and I was like, yeah.
So I do want to clue the audience in. So Mike did leave the show, and Ray from Around the Layout podcast is kind of chime in on an inside joke here, because one night he did give me some technical advice whilst on a show, and then I disappeared for a half an hour. Mike they're going through some severe storms up in Green Bay right now, so they lost power. So he just messaged me, says we're going to be back on, or he's going to be back on as soon as he can, as soon as the power comes back on. So
he's okay.
But everything seems to be okay. He's in the basement anyway, so we're good there. So just friends in northern Wisconsin, if you're watching, just be aware there's some severe weather rolling through the area. So
hey, my wife is from Madison, and her sister currently lives on Lake Winnebago, east, right there on the east side of the lake, but north of Fond du Lac. So
yeah, that's literally 10 miles away from my house. 15 miles away from my house. Yeah, super small world. As the model railroad world turns. So.
Speaking of small world, I also want to give a shout out. So you see these two trailing units, Allegheny Western. Probably going to step in it here because I believe these were Michael Kisser's, who is Sagana Northern now. He was liquidating his Allegheny Western power, so I picked those up. You'll notice there's an EMD unit in there. That's a lease unit. Don't pay any attention to that. The real one you want to look at is the RS32 up here.
Yeah.
Or, Alco Sexy. Yeah. SD45. Yeah, we've seen them. But he is another guy that is, I've got a lot of influence from Michael Kisser because it's Sagana Northern, the way he's building it and the stuff he shows off when he's done it looks fantastic. I mean, his dispatch panel and everything that he's put together on his Facebook page is just sexy as all get out.
Yeah.
I'll never get to that level of goodness, but I love seeing it. And so I'm going to name drop everybody I can that does cool stuff. Tampa Northern's another one. The progress that he's made on the Tampa Northern in like 2 months is absolutely insane. So go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, so Mike is back with us. Welcome back, Mike.
Thanks. I think
we informed everyone what was going on up in your neck of the woods. So
I'm in the process of letting Ray know not to worry, that I'm not going to blame him.
Yeah, very good. That was brought up on the show when you disappeared. But to catch you up, Brad is taking us through just some other areas of his influence, and so we're going back and looking at some more of his pictures here on his
nice.
Yeah, there's some more pictures of the power, just
Yeah.
But yeah, like I was just talking about guys like Michael Kisser and the Tampa Northern, the Sagana Northern, and all of those. And I was, for whatever it's worth, I like to give unsolicited advice. And in this case, it would be like
That's part of being a model railroader. Unsolicited
you see these
advice.
guys doing these cool things on Facebook, and they post everything that they do, and it's like, holy crap, how are you making this much progress? It's only been a week, and then you suddenly feel like you're falling behind. And well, I mean, for what it's worth, and again, I have no business giving advice, but I will anyway. If you feel like you're falling behind, don't.
Yeah.
You're working at your pace. You're not working at somebody else's pace unless they have directly challenged you to something specific. Just relax, man. It's supposed to be a cool, fun, enjoyable hobby. So don't feel any pressure from anybody else. I know I get into that loop where I'm like, oh shit, I've got to paint like 5 engines because the Tampa Northern has 5 new engines out. No, I don't. I mean, I could weather 2 of the engines I already have painted and be just as fine. Or, at the very least put windows and number boards in them like they should have.
So it's not a competition, right?
No.
Yeah. Even if the only person you're competing with is yourself, right?
Yep. So I do want to just kind of circle back here. So we did get a lot of questions in the chat about the HomeShops release. So I do, and I know that Bernard, all of the questions and queries coming in for the mini prints, I know you've been active in the chat, manning those, but I do want to get some of the things out in front of Chris here, real quick ones. So Anthony Borden asked earlier on Seaboard Central boxcars. Are we going to be doing those again, or another version of Seaboard Central?
Yes, I would expect to see another Seaboard Central car. Can't let it out of the cat bag yet, but we have something in the works. Okay.
And then a couple people asked, I think it was CNL Lines and Derek Alexander. They said, we know about the early or the transition era type stuff. You did something with the V&O tank cars. Are there any things in the works for transition era stuff?
Yes, but it's not immediate, and it's all about what products are made available to us on the timelines of our manufacturers. So there's a couple projects in the work, but they probably will not be in 2024. I don't think.
Okay, so yeah, I guess for those transition era modelers, keep an eye out for those. And then lastly, I think there was a question: Can we see the Neosho Valley Lines car again?
Got a picture in queue there if you want to bring it up.
Yeah,
yeah, there it is.
So this just to kind of come full circle here with the conversation we've been having all night long about taking prototype influence and building it into a freelance model railroad. There is on the right the Illinois Terminal prototype PS 4750 covered over. And on the left is the Neosho Valley Lines car that we came up with.
Love that.
And so, the inspiration is very clear. And I always remembered, when I was trackside at a younger era, when the train went by, especially on the Norfolk Southern in Louisiana, New Orleans, where I grew up, there would occasionally be an Illinois Terminal hopper or a boxcar in there. And it was one of those cars, the whole train goes by and you remember seeing that Illinois Terminal car in the consist. So as talking to Brad, and I'm looking at kind of the direction he's going, and that red and yellow stood out. And I remembered, seeing these Illinois Terminal cars, and we had the conversation about going that route and flipping it. So sure. As you can see, the colors are an exact match.
That's so cool.
Basically just flipped it. So we went from that, the prototype inspiration there, and turned it into the final product here, which, it's just a different level of, hey, this looks, a lot of people have commented that, this looks familiar. They feel like they've seen that somewhere. And everybody remembers seeing that Illinois Terminal car that one time in the field. And here it is, a negative of it on this Neosho Valley Lines car. So I wanted to put that side by side just so everybody can see the influences there.
Now, I while we were having discussion this evening, made pre-order or purchase of the Shit Lines car. And again, hashtag not sponsored. I'm not getting any discounts or anything like that from Chris or Bernard here. And I went out and I pre-ordered a whole fistful of the 4427s and the Neosho Valley. I am really looking forward to. It's an iconic car. It's really cool.
That's one of those cars that's going to stick with you. That's for sure.
Mhm. Yeah. And I cannot wait to get it into service and weathered.
I agree with who was it Brad or was it Chris that said it earlier about, or was it you, Andy, about talking about how people are going to weather this? Because it's really going to lend itself to so many different, that yellow bottom is going to be really interesting to see how guys do that. That's going to be really sharp.
Rust pitting. Oh.
And I've had some people have said, well, why would you put a light color on the bottom of the car? And when you think about it, a vast majority of grain hoppers and plastic hoppers, the whole thing is light gray or white, or they're solid yellow cars. So it's not like it's a no-no to have a light color on the bottom, especially when entire cars are painted these colors.
Paint is cheap.
Yeah,
white and black paint are cheap.
Yeah,
those are the two cheapest colors you can get. So a lot of times or gray. It's just cheap, and it costs money. If you stop and think about it, and Brad, you and I we both work for a railroad. How many times do you see a car and it's sitting there going, it's all gray, and it's like, well, you see like all gray and nothing else but a reporting mark, a handful of stencils, and that's the end of it, because it costs time and money. And nowadays, and even back in the 60s and 70s, it really started too, where everybody started streamlining their paint scheme. The Milwaukee Road did it. The Chicago Northwestern did it. Everybody started streamlining their freight car fleet because it was just get it in, get it out there, get it done. And that was it. As cheap as possible, and that's it.
What was the old saying? Paint don't make money?
No, paint don't make money. No, but it does fix a lot.
Freight. That's what it was.
Yeah,
paint
but it does
move freight.
Yeah, but it does fix a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we called that the DuPont overhaul.
Yeah, the DuPont overhaul. Yeah, exactly.
The DuPont overhaul.
It always paint will always fix everything. I just realized that power surge zoomed me way out. Look at that.
And that's what we want. We want you.
I don't want you guys seeing all my garbage in the back. It's bad enough you guys see it the way it is.
Yeah.
Have you seen behind me? And don't worry about it.
No, you guys.
No, this is nothing, man.
Fine as frogs here.
There we go.
So, okay, we are approaching the 2-hour mark here, and I did talk about the doing a what's on your workbench this evening. So we're gonna go and run through that quickly. Bernard, I'm gonna bring him up on screen. He's gonna kind of kick off the show here. This is what's on Bernard's workbench. So
yeah, Bernard's workbench is pretty messy. I've got these. I was weathering up these.
Ooh, gravestones.
Yeah.
Oh, sharp.
Yeah, for Halloween.
I love that.
What else is on my workbench? A little Dr. Mini.
Ooh.
With my shrink ray gun.
That's awesome.
What else? There's a lot of stuff on the workbench. Oh, you'll like this. This has got you guys written all over it.
What's that?
That's PRR station bench.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sharp. I like that.
Yeah, so that's really doing well on the website. So that's that. There are not a lot of those around. It's strange. You think that would be offered?
Yeah.
And this, two other things I'll show you on my workbench. These are kind of fun. These are the 5-gallon pails.
Uh-huh.
Oh my goodness.
Little tiny pails. And
Need
then
a
this was
thousand
a
of those.
request, and I love requests because if you have a request. So do you know what those are?
Golems?
No, they're called Inukshuk. So you see them in the
Oh.
Canadian Arctic, and they're piles of stones that are done in the shape of a person, and you see them all over the north.
Yeah.
And
That's
they're
amazing.
way markers, and they're like they have all sorts of different meanings. But that was a request from a Canadian modeler. He wanted those on his layout.
That's cool.
That's going to be awesome.
I'll show you one last thing that are kind of fun for fall. I don't know if you can see that. Those are bushel baskets.
For
Apple
apples.
baskets.
Yeah, little apple baskets, like bushel baskets. So that's what's on my workbench. And it's funny. I print at the office, but because I really don't have a lot of time to model, I find that I really put the creativity into the painting. I love painting. So my workbench over here tends to be where I sort of, at night, I find it very relaxing to get the paintbrushes out and do a little painting.
By the way, I'm monitoring the chat on StreamYard, and somebody wants to know what scale the Saturn V is behind you. And the reason why I bring it up,
that's a Lego.
Oh, it's Lego. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Holy cow! That is.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that was a Father's Day present from my son, who was, I think, probably like 8 or 9 at the time. And he gave it to me for Father's Day. But then he said, but Dad, I want to build it for you. So he built this thing. I mean, it's the biggest one I think we've ever done. It's close to 2,000 pieces. And Max did that in one day nonstop. He got, the book is like that thick. Like I've got the book up there somewhere. It's like this huge, thick manual. And he just sat down and he just went. He didn't eat. He didn't sleep. He just built it. And it's a pretty awesome model.
That's cool.
You really turned out awesome.
The story makes it even I'm even more happy that I asked just for that story.
He's like, if I showed you his room, he's 15 now. If I showed you his room, there's probably about 6 inches of Lego all over his floor. It's probably like 10 by 10 by 6 inches of Lego everywhere.
Just straight Lego.
Oh yeah.
He's got calluses on his feet like you wouldn't believe, because he doesn't even feel it anymore.
He doesn't even need instructions anymore. He'll just see a kit and just start making it. He's pretty brilliant, but it's amazing. I mean, the thing's got to be at least 2.5, 3 feet long.
That's a huge.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful model. And it comes with all sorts of it comes with the capsule and the lander, and
that's so cool.
Yeah. We're a big Lego family.
So are we. So are we. We love it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Bernard, I just want to say that I really appreciate if you ever get a chance to go to a show and Bernard's there and you get a chance, go get scanned, because I have a mini me.
Yeah, no, Mike, I don't think you're up on the website yet, because I don't know whether I asked permission to put you up.
Yeah, put it up there.
Okay.
Put it up there.
All right.
I don't care. Yeah. It's
all right.
I don't know if it's going to focus in on what it is.
Go back just a hair bear, Mike. There you go.
Or better yet, hold on. Maybe it'll be better if I do it. Oh, watch this. See if I can
theme
do
music
this.
is really important to this. This is the production value, and now we're cooking.
There you go.
Look at that. So what are you doing in the pose there, Mike?
I'm holding my camera, and I'm kind of giving a like a little symbol. Like, okay, so I've kind of gotten. Whenever I go rail fanning and I go past, or the train goes past, I take my shots and everything. The train goes past, I always do this with my hands. I always go like this.
Sure.
like that. Give a little, instead of this wave, and I always, kind of that, because it's a little bit of highball type stuff, whatever. And so that's what I'm doing is I'm just standing there holding my camera in my left hand, and I'm doing this with my right hand. So
am I allowed to share? There we go.
There we go. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. There is there is no sexier mini print on the market.
Mike,
There you are.
I'm telling you.
So I'll put you up on the site tomorrow with your permission, Mike.
Absolutely, go for it. It'll be funny to see exactly if any gets sold.
We've got SAG-AFTRA out here trying to fight against getting scanned. And then here we are. We have Mike.
Yep.
He's like, yes, scan it.
Scan it. Tell me.
Here, I'll show you. Hang on. Can I show you one other quick thing?
Yeah.
I'll show you where Mike's gonna be. Hang on. So if you want to see yourself tomorrow, go to, there we go, share. All right. So if you go to miniprints.com/minimes, then you're gonna be listed here, and there's like close to 200 model railroaders that I've scanned at various shows, and some of them are like, there's me. Hang on. So there's me with the shrink ray gun that I showed you before. But if you're looking for someone you'll probably see someone. Here's a familiar character.
Yeah, Gordy Robinson.
Gordy.
Yeah. So there's probably someone there that you will know, and you'll be up tomorrow.
Awesome.
Oh, really cool. That's
Awesome.
awesome, Bernard.
Yeah, I think it turned out really well. It looks like you, Mike.
Yeah, it does.
It looks just like him.
It's scary how good you are at that, buddy.
I'll have to make sure to put my order in.
Once I do that, I've captured your soul.
Yes, you have.
That's why you sound a little different today.
Yeah.
Now we've figured it out.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. So
Jeff Schultz is there. Jeff Schultz is up there. You can little mini Jeff, yeah. And Heath, and there's lots of familiar faces.
Yeah, all sorts of cool.
And I'll be doing it again at Springfield. So Andy, we got to get you to Springfield.
Okay, I'm not going to be going to Springfield this year.
I'm gonna try to get them. Are you gonna go back to St. Louis again next year?
100%. That was such an amazing.
I'll be there. I'll be there.
I'll drag them there, kicking and screaming if I have to this next year.
I will be at St. Louis next year without a doubt. So I will be there.
We saw Brad, you got to go and bring some of your models, because the creativity at the St. Louis RPM is like nothing I've ever seen. Just that the creativity, the talent, there were models there that just
it's unbelievable.
Chris, not to put you on the hook, are you gonna? I know it's like an every other year thing. Are you gonna be there next year, 2024?
St. Louis?
Yeah,
planning on it. Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah,
there we go.
There we have it.
Second section podcast exclusive. You heard it here first. Meet me in St. Louis.
Meet me in St. Louis. Yeah, good rail fanning town too. I couldn't believe how much rail action is there.
Yeah, St. Louis is great for that. I wouldn't mind, but not gonna lie. I mean, even at my age, I'm still intimidated by some of this other stuff, and I'm like, do I really want to put my models up against that?
Yes, you do. Yeah, because I tell you what, it is amazing the stuff that's there. Your stuff is no different than anybody else's,
and I've not displayed. A competition.
Absolutely.
It is not a competition. Everything there. You get inspired, and there's something for everyone. If you're into freight cars, if you're into locomotives, if you're into, some guy had animated like bulldozers. There was everything.
Neat.
And it was there's unfinished models there, models of all stages, just basically showing the progression of what they're building. So I think it's and all skill levels. It's definitely not just for, the supermodeler. It's for everybody. It's a show
Yeah.
for everybody, in my opinion. So
Absolutely. It was, I think for me, I mean, Springfield to me is like the Super Bowl. Like Springfield is just the big event. But if there was
Mhm.
only one other thing I could go to in a year other than
I-
Springfield, it would be the St. Louis show.
yeah, the St. Louis RPM was when I went a few years back. It was tons of fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So,
I
yeah.
make it a point to go every year. And every year it's always 98 degrees or hotter.
So you'll have to capture the sweat marks if you scan me.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right.
I love St. Louis, man.
So anyways, we were going to do what's on your workbench. So I'm going to play the cool little ditty here to prime everyone up, and then we'll get on with rating and seeing what's on everyone's workbench out in the section. All right, that funky beat means it is time for what's on your workbench. And that is a chance for all the people in the section crew to show off what's going on. So if you're clued in on Facebook and you want to be a part of the fun, make sure you go out to Second Section Podcast on Facebook. And when we do what's on your workbench, we're gonna take a look and see what everyone's doing. It also gives Andy the opportunity to do some public reading. And we're going to sit back and grade the progress, and whoever wins workbench of the week is going to get a free Second Section T-shirt. So now we got stuff on the line.
Hold on. I'll throw in a Miniprints gift card too. How about that?
Yes, sir. You heard it.
Wow. Thank you. That's awesome.
Thank you, Bernard.
Yeah, sure.
So we'll do a Miniprints gift card as well. And then we'll let's rock and roll. So high stakes here tonight on what's on your workbench. We start off like we do with most what's on your workbench with Michael Shanky. He's got 16 3D printed JLTVs from Circus City Decals to build for his military train on the WSOR.
You've never had to deal with those, have you, Andy?
I'm actually going to be dealing with those in a week here. So my company, the company that I work for my day job, actually builds the JLTV armored vehicles. So
Oshkosh?
Oshkosh, yes.
Oh my God. I talk to Nancy Gantner about once every 3 weeks when she's got new cars to ship out.
Yep. Yeah. So I work for Oshkosh Defense. So let it be heard here. But yeah, Mike, you're going to have your hands full. And those JLTV prints look just like the real thing. So those are cool models. All right. Let's see here. Kenny Ravenscroft.
Ooh. New
Peller
power.
Valley. New power.
New power.
Isn't that
Like
pretty?
GP18 looks like.
That's right. GP.
Oh, I didn't even look at that.
Yeah, good eye. 1800 too.
Yeah.
Let's have a naming convention for him. Looking good there. Boy, pretty clean workbench, though, Kenny. Ooh.
Yeah, I know. Way too much space, right?
Yeah. Here we go. Brad Lobrecht. He says, got my Foscale Pelican Rock kit has begun. And it's going to be a fun winter here in Ottawa, Canada.
Wow.
There you go. That's looks like a lot of work for that.
Those coastal modelers are
they're
a whole nother breed onto themselves also, right? I mean, I don't know if they're insane or just whatever, but wow.
Was that the whole thing, or was it just like one building out of that?
I think it's just one piece of one building.
Right, of that whole like seascape.
That kit is huge. It is absolutely monstrous.
Yeah, those dock guys and those guys, I admire them guys a lot.
Yeah, they have a lot of patience and they're really high detail.
Yeah.
People, but we got Logan Thurman here, has 2 NP locomotives sitting on his test track. The unpainted model came in yesterday for my dad and planning on have it painted just like my 2162.
Nice.
Those are sexy. Those are, yeah.
Dang, those look real good.
Boy, that you want to talk about intimidation, Brad? That right there would intimidate the living crap out of me.
Brass
Yeah,
intimidates
just
me.
brass and then throw the steam on top of it. You know, it's just
Yeah. Well done, Logan.
yeah, nice.
Wish
Very
I had
nice.
a picture of the. I'll see if I have a picture of the NVL's Heritage steam unit.
Okay.
Hey, those colors look familiar.
Yeah, it looks like Farland Terminal.
Yeah.
Bill Kenkel, Pine Valley Northern SW9, ready for dull coat and decals.
Ooh.
I like that.
That you're gonna have to keep us informed on how this turns out, Bill.
Yeah, absolutely.
You see some Canadian national influence on that.
Yeah.
Good.
That's nice.
John Dick installing my own 3D printed spark arresters on one of my Genesis GP9s, Milwaukee Road. It's a beaut.
Yeah, those are nice.
Clean workbench. Look at that. Cutting mat.
Everybody's workbench is clean.
Well, besides from Bernard,
Yeah.
Here, Daniel Leduc did some patchwork this past Sunday. I removed the gyro light on the cab and covered the marker light and renumber the former L&N GP38-2 to a CSXT 2572. It will be an awesome addition to the Queso subdivision era 1988. P.S. The taco sauce will come later.
Nice. That's pretty sharp. I like that.
Good looking work there, Daniel. Let's see.
The window gaskets looked really good too.
Yes. I'll have to go back through here. Ryan Osmalski testing some Kankakee, Beaverville, and Southern Elkos off of eBay. Add to the pile of railroads, in quotes, I don't model. Those are some good looking locomotives, though.
Alcos. What more could you ask for right there?
They're pretty. They need a lot more smoke.
I'm mad at the KBS because of the fact that they ruined one of my favorite locomotives of all time, the GBW 309.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Paul Scott August working on an ITLA warehouse, among other things. Now, Paul is a longtime follower of the podcast here, and he's played the What's on Your Workbench game before.
Yes.
And so, I think we're going to have to give Paul a little bit of a ribbing here. It's fairly organized. There's
as it always is.
As it always is. And looks like good progress happening here. Lots of open space here. I mean, you got at least 2-3 more square feet to cram in more projects. I do like the diversity of things, though, paint and tools and stuff. But yeah, you could do a few more. I'm also going to give Paul a shout out here. Says, hey, PM me if we haven't traded stickers yet. So he's got some stickers for his Chicago Northwestern Mondovi line. So hit him up. Hashtag not sponsored. All right. Well done, Paul. All right, let's keep trucking right down here. This is basically I just get to catch up on my Facebook feed. Here we go. John Garvid, everything on my workbench right now. I wanted more work area, so I moved the filing cabinet and replace it with a small table that I would have more space. Turns out took me longer than I thought. Man, I couldn't fit in there.
I don't know if I could either.
I'd be bumping and grinding on stuff. Looks like you have a fair amount of organization there, though, John.
Shout out to the Ryobi tools, though. There, that's
Right.
I'm a big fan of.
Guy.
I'm a Ryobi guy.
Yeah,
I'm looking at it
guy.
thinking, I needed more room. Well, where did it go?
Yeah, I couldn't say.
Wanted more work area. What happened to it?
Projects and tools.
What happened to it? Just so we're clear.
Yeah.
Man. All right, John. This one's high in the running for what's on the workbench. All
Everything.
right. Oh, here's a good one. Justin Jankowskis working on the National Bakery building for the Vine Street branch.
That looks
Boy,
beautiful.
look at that. Well done. Really well done.
Yeah, that looks like a background building that would fit in just perfect.
Yeah, nice flat. I love this. Well done, Justin. Let's see here. All right, Mike Slater keeping us up to date on what's going on with him. He's a former Workbench of the Week winner. Owes me his shirt size and his address too, so I can send out his stuff. No pressure there, Mike. DCC and sound install on another MTS CNS and M Silverliner. That's a beaut. You're a good modeler, Mike. I love seeing what you guys come up with, especially with the trolley.
Yeah, he's one of the only trolley guys and overhead wire guys that we know that actually does it on a consistent basis like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, he's
Chicago, North Shore, and Milwaukee, right?
You got it.
Yep.
Yes.
Ooh.
You got it. I wonder why it's making me scroll all the way back down here. All right, Joseph Ginto.
Well, now we're talking. Look at
Here
this.
we go.
There's a workbench.
This is a workbench. So he's got multiple projects happening at once this week, weathering a scale trains museum quality UP turbine and decaling 2 Walthers E8s for the Great Northern. Hashtag not sponsored. Hashtag no rest. Hashtag loving what's going on here. We got a lot of paint. We got a lot of material. We got the hot air dryer here, sponges, spray paint, tape. And then we have the models above the bench that we're working on. This is quite the cavalcade of stuff on the workbench here. Looking good, Joseph. No, he was debating either going to work tonight or joining the broadcast. So we'll have to figure out which one he did. Quentin Webb relaying some track, changed the turnout. And now after altering the track plan, adding in the joiners and soldering.
Nice.
I hate that job.
Keep up the good work, Quentin.
Just want to point out in the StreamMate chat too, Roger Moses just pointed out something that goes right along with that one. Why is it my layout is always my workbench?
That's a good question.
Yes.
That's a real good question.
Right.
Benjamin Zahner says, well, it's official. The Perry Central Railroad has acquired another GP7, this time with dynamic brakes. Both locomotives will have decals soon with a big PC in red on both sides of the engines, and the numbers will be on the sides of the cab. The closest unit is the Perry Central number 1966 with the dynamic brakes, while the back unit without dynamic brakes is the Perry Central 1968. So in the foreground, that's going to be 1966. In the back, that's going to be 1968. Looking good. Can't wait to see the finished product there.
Is that N scale?
I think so.
That's sharp.
I think Benjamin is in the chat this evening. Perry Central Railroad is here.
That looks like mine.
Yeah. So
Ben, is that N scale or what scale is that? Yes, he says yes. He goes yes. That's cool. Very nice.
Pretty damn good for N scale.
Yeah.
Greg Terhar, more cab details. Looks like we got, looks like a Jeep 38 there, BNSF. Workbench. And we get about 6 more locos in here, Greg. Yeah, good looking details going on the cab of that BNSF loco. All right. Scrolling. Oh, here we go. So this is freelance if the Milwaukee Road never went away. Dwight Anderson working on finishing my SD60M for the modern Milwaukee Road Iowa division.
I was going to say, it better be a Cyclops because they would have had that. They would have gone with the Cyclops.
Yeah, the 3 windows in the
the
cab
3
there.
windows in the front.
I love that. Well done,
yeah.
Dwight. All right. Hey, what's all this noise? Chris Haddo. Still going dead in the yard every day, so no modeling. But this is what's on the workbench. Looks like he's got some stickers there from our friends at the Second Section podcast. Outstanding. He's got the regular roundies and then the hexagon and Mascoutin Valley. I wonder who that guy is. Well done, Chris. I think Chris is a Lions fan too. He'll have to share with us
what it feels like to be have a winning team. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Robert J. Thomas. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
This is super awesome.
That's so cool.
Just finished up some light weathering on these old-timey tank cars. Thought I would work on some photos tonight. Sorry, no workbench shots. And then P.S. I just about spit out my coffee when Brad came on the screen.
So you're one of the two. Ha! Awesome.
That's awesome, Robert.
That is so cool.
I love that.
So when we're done, I'll explain the mug.
Yeah, you're one of the two. That's right. Oh man, let's see who else we have here. Frank H. Conlon, not my workbench, but I did, but something I shot to celebrate Conrail Day. Wah wah.
Early Conrail Day.
Early Conrail. Nice one, Frank. Let's see here. All right, Mike Roberts working on finishing up super detailing, kit bashing, N scale MKT Elco RS3M before paint. Another, that's one of them. Is that a rebuild job, huh?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finishing the customized Central Valley Bridge and experimenting with a couple of Kato mini dioramas. Wow. So I love the use of the vertical here. He's got projects stacked up. We've got the caboose here on the Unitrack, and then we got, just some random smattering of stuff, but we got a lot of, we could fit 2 more locomotives here, another building back in here. And this 3 square inches can be your working space.
That's where you put a soda can.
Yeah. Yep.
It's right. It's got your soda pop or your water can or water glass has got to go right near the edge, right by where your elbow is going to hit it.
Yeah. Right. Or put your glue bottle or your Microsol there.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Whatever you can spill, that's exactly where it goes.
Yeah, exactly. And if it's got to be valuable, make sure it's valuable and you can't get any more.
Yeah, make sure it's the last ounce and a half of the product that you've used for 10 years and they don't make it anymore.
10x7.
Yeah, right.
Well done, Mike. Look, I really look forward to seeing the finished MKT loco.
Yeah, that's going to be really, really cool. I'm surprised somebody hasn't come out with that unit as a as in any scale other than having a kit bash it, because those kind of went a couple different places after the Katie got done with them.
Yeah, there was a guy that was trying to make resin models of those. I was talking to him on Facebook. It's been several months ago, but I don't think they ever got off the ground because, which is a shame because the models, the pictures he was showing were really good. But
yeah,
they went to the SEK Railroad and a couple other short lines after the Katie went under. So
yeah.
Now we're talking here. This is Mike Roberts again, workbench overview. Look at this. So he's got his pop can way over here on the left.
Yeah.
And then look, he had just this shot, but now look at everything else that's going on here.
Yeah. See,
and he's got second section up on the screen. Got stuff taped to it. He's got reference photos of that RS3 up here.
If that pop can was closer to the computer,
I don't know. I mean,
this is getting in there. This is
I think this one's in the top 3.
What's the pop
Absolutely.
can though? What's he drinking? We need to determine.
Diet
what
Dr.
pop can is.
Pepper.
Yep.
Diet Dr. Pepper. Yep.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, he's got Dr. Mini and the crew up here. I think just for that, we're going to get some extra points on that.
Yeah.
That was good.
It's almost online real time.
Yeah. Scott Haycock, here's my workbench. Recently set up with my new space. I'm still getting everything stowed. Man, I like the TV.
I do too.
Look at all
Holy
the
cow.
tools and paints. Nice paint rack there too.
I like Chris Bell's comment.
What's that?
Workbench overview, workbench overload.
It's a good one.
I'm glad that the crew gets to have a little fun with this too. Here we go. Former workbench of the week winner John Whithouse.
Yeah, this is a pretty slick engine.
Getting ready to finish up the MRS 253 kit bash, the infamous Morris and Knutson TE47-4E rebuild.
Yeah, that was a one-of-a-kind unit. That was crazy.
Nice job, John.
That is cool.
MK locos are, oh man, you don't see many of them out there. Not in the modeling world.
No.
Very good. I like that a lot.
Well, it's hard to do the MK units because they went weird with the hood and everything else, and it's a lot of kit bashing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looks like a lot of knife time there. Here we go. This is Scott Haycock coming back with. He's got a little fixture that he set up on the end of a box while he's watching the show.
You know what? I could never use that. You know why? Because it's
No.
too smart.
Yeah.
I have got to sit here and struggle. That's too easy.
Right. That's using your brain. Well done.
Right?
All right. Paul Maliet or Maliet. Looks here. This is my workbench after working on my yard module. Ooh.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
Got a lot of stuff going on here, Paul. Scroll saw, that's a nice touch. Right in there with the rest of it, close to the module. Glue. Looks like some rods there. Yeah, well done,
Empty
Paul.
buckets underneath.
Yeah, we got buckets. Yeah, this is looking good. This is the type of stuff we're talking about. All right, here. There's that NVL cup again. It's looking sharp. Oh, here we go. Okay. So this is Paul Belmore. Got the FRV fleet on the bench tonight. Not much room for anything else. Ooh, so that's Paul, is that the Fox River Valley?
The
Are you modeling?
FRVR, the Fox River Valley Railroad. Yep.
No, the Fever.
The Fever. Yep. Man.
I got books and a lot of pictures, Paul, if you need them. I got all sorts of fun stuff on the Fever.
That's looking good.
Yeah, those units are looking good, Paul. Let's see what else we got here. Boy, a lot of entries tonight. A lot of entries. Saul Natale doing some 3D printer tests, seeing what buildings I can fit into the Anycubic Mono 2 and reworking the base of my arcade and Attica caboose.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Lots of credit for having zero available space here.
Yeah, he gets a lot of stuff going on. Poor print, though. Looks like he got hit with some hail damage there. But yeah, this is good stuff, Sal. I like that caboose.
I think people are adding these faster than you can go through them.
Oh, I know. We're going to be here all night at this rate. And everyone's going to ask me, hit refresh, hit refresh. Let's see. And this is the last one that I had when I started the show. So this is Timothy A.P. Mercer. And he says, I haven't had a chance to start working on projects, so here's my workbench. Still looks like it did after unboxing the new purchases. It looks pretty clean.
Yeah.
That looks pretty clean. But I like the purchases that you have there. Got the rosin flux. Looks like we're getting ready to do some soldering. Got a couple of looks like shake the box kits too. I have this Chicago Northwestern car. I have this one right here. This is an old, looks like maybe a Bev Bell, Athearn Blue Box or Bell Bev. I can't remember the name exactly, but I think I have that still.
Yeah, it would be Bev Bell.
Bev Bell, yeah. I think I have that one. Well done, Timothy. So that's it. I'm out of comments here. I know people are like, refresh, but when we started the show, that's what we had. So,
Yeah.
I don't know, guys. This is a tough one tonight.
It's between Mike and John, as far as I'm concerned. I think.
John Garvin?
Yeah, from earlier.
So, okay. So here's Mike Roberts. We'll bring that one back up.
Yeah.
I would agree between the two of them for sure.
Okay. And then we'll have John Garvin here. Let's see if I can find him. He was early on. This one. That's a tough one. That is a tough one.
There was one other one, though, wasn't there?
One other one. Oh, Joey. Was it Joey?
Yeah.
With all the weathering stuff. This one.
Yep.
Yeah. That's good too. Ooh.
Okay, so these are our top 3 tonight.
Yep.
So we got to make a decision here with the crack squad that we have online. So is it Joey with the looks like a super fun site here on his workbench and some beautiful weathering models that are happening? We have John, the close quarters modeler. I get claustrophobic just looking at this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's tight, and I'm a big fella with wide shoulders, so that's I mean, it gets points for that. Or is it Mike Roberts with the overview and all the projects on the side? What do you guys say?
I'm going with Joey for pure clutter and maximum paint on the workbench.
Oh, good point there on the paint. So we got Joey. 1 vote for Joey.
I've got John because of the sheer amount of stuff with the, trying to make more space and then having absolutely no space to work.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Mike just because y'all called that can a pop can, which I've never heard before.
Oh, man. Okay, so we got 1 for each.
Mike, you're up. Mike, no pressure.
So put 3 numbers in a hat and pull one out.
I'm going to go with, you know what? Because I tried this before, I actually tried moving everything I have here into a small closet at one point. Yeah, so I'm going that way. That was what, John? Was that John's?
Yeah, John.
Yeah, John's. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with John just because, and on top of that, he had the Ryobi tools there, so that was yeah.
Ah, man, I don't know. I think boy, this is tough. We got 2 for John, 1 for the each of them. For the other ones, I think between the three of them, I tell you what, I think they all 3 should win, and I'll do a shirt for each of them tonight. I can't decide. I mean, I think
Yeah, there you go.
I think that's the way to go.
All right,
And
I'll do $20 gift card for each of the three.
with each of them. So I think those three,
Thank
Joey.
you, Bernard.
Yeah, thank you, Bernard, for
I was
doing
going to
that.
do 150, so we'll do 320s. How's that sound?
320. That sounds good.
And
So we'll do.
if they're interested, I will give each of them one of these.
Nice.
Oh, jeez.
Nice. So this has been a very, very
Wow.
big what's on your workbench. So we had John
Well, hey,
Garvin.
if that's the case.
Oh man, it's getting out of control
Hold
now.
Hold on.
Oh, no, that doesn't
That's
count.
not all.
Oh, I don't. Oh, that doesn't count.
No.
Oh,
So we're gonna do John Garvin, Joey, and Mike for the what's on your workbench winners. This is our first three-headed monster that we've had for what's on the workbench. Joey, I hope you get to see the show and you're not working too hard. I know you said watch a show or go to work. So congratulations to Joey, John, and Mike for winning the What's on Your Workbench. And thank you all for participating this evening. Thought it was a fantastic effort from the
that was
section.
really cool, guys.
Yes. So very good work indeed. I do want to just have a couple of notes here before we go. I do want to give a special thanks to Chris, Brad, and Bernard, Dr. Mini. Thank you guys again for coming back on the show. And it's just fantastic that you guys could share and collaborate. I thought it was really cool, the collaboration that you guys did.
Absolutely.
And yeah, and
Chris, I'm seeing a lot of comments on my pages anyway that those cars are going quick. So save at least one for me.
Yeah,
Because
I
they're
know
going to
that.
be gone. They're going to be gone like that.
Yeah, I made sure to snap mine up whilst we were talking this evening. So, and then I just want to say again, really cool that you guys came and put this on for us. Brad, thank you for coming on, sharing the NVL. I thought that was really cool to get the backstory and then actually be able to put the model railroader and the railroad to the ar. I thought that was really awesome. So thank you for sharing that with us.
Appreciate you having me. This was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it.
This show is so much fun to do. I absolutely love doing it. So the crapper.
Yeah.
So I do want to give last chance for any questions on the section crew here. If you guys have any for Chris, Brad, or Dr. Mini, let's get those in here while we do the awkward final words from Mike.
Hey, should I bring up what we were going to talk about?
Yes, we do have another.
We have Andy and I kind of had a talk, and we decided we're going to try to do another segment. And so the short line of the show has been really popular. Everybody likes it, but we're going to try taking it to a different level, and we're going to go with a locomotive of the show as well. And we're not going to limit it to anything. It could be steam, it could be electric, it could be diesel, it could be water powered, it could be hydroelectric. It could be hydraulic, battery power. It could be anything that we're going to come up with a way to randomize what is going to be presented. And then, because it's out there that all the locomotive models that have been out there are out there. It's available. We just have to get it into a randomizer. And I had it up until I got cut off by Mother Nature. I had 400. I had 490 of them already into a randomizer, and then it got lost by the power surge thing. But anyway, we're going to go with the locomotive of the show. And I think we're going to try to do that every time, no matter what, right? I think we'll try to do that every time, no matter what, from here on out. So coming up, this next one, we're going to do
that was Paul Belmar. Sorry.
Yeah, Thomas.
Paul. We got to give Paul credit for that.
Yeah. Nope. Short line of the show is still going to be a thing. This is just going to be another additional segment. That's all it's going to be.
Another thing to bring value to the modeler.
Yep,
So.
Absolutely. And try to stir some creative juices, so to speak, and get guys thinking of stuff outside the box a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're going to keep it under wraps as to what the first one is going to be. We'll come up with a private randomization of whatever it's going to be, and then we'll, from there on out, after that, we'll randomize on the podcast the next one. So,
yeah.
But otherwise, Chris, Bernard, Brad, thank you very much for everything. Thank you for coming on. It was amazing having you guys back on. Brad, your layout is awesome. I love your concept behind it. As a fellow freelancer, it's always, I always love seeing how freelance guys do stuff and their mindset, because they take the what should never have happened and make it happen, and that's really cool, because you keep a lot of lines alive doing that, So yeah, thank you very much, all of it. And Chris, thank you for everything you were doing, man. That stuff is that's crazy insane, the amount of time and effort you're putting into that stuff. And
it is. Thank you.
And I appreciate everything you're doing. And Bernard, I don't know what to say about you, man. It's just there's crazy, there's insane, then there's Bernard, man. I tell you what, the stuff you do is after getting scanned from you and seeing how you go through your process, I tell you what, my hat's off. That is crazy awesome. Crazy awesome.
Having fun.
Absolutely.
That's right.
It's all fun.
And thank you so much for having us on, because it's been a lot of fun tonight.
Oh, geez, somebody just said Dr. Poop.
Oh, man. There we go.
No, geez.
Maybe that's...
I don't know that one's going to stick.
Oh, geez.
That was a real crappy way to end the show.
Yeah, nobody wants to run with something like that, do they?
Seriously, loose humor going on right now.
Yeah, it's a lot of
it's getting deep.
It's getting deep. So, okay, gang, we're going to get ready to tie down for the night. Just a couple of admin notes. Next week, we're going to have a show. We'll have Bob Frischella coming back on. We're gonna do a remake, or not a remake, a redo of the St. Louis rail fanning episode. So Bob's going to be sharing some of his photography with us, talking about the different railroads around the St. Louis area, and it's going to be a great show. You're not going to want to miss that.
Yeah.
The dude is an artist. So make sure that you guys tune in next week, 8 p.m. Central. Catch the rail fanning and just catch the inspiration. It's going to be amazing. And then after that, we're going to take a couple weeks off, and then we're going to do the redo with Mark Herrick. And he's going to be on about the BNSF Montana division. If you guys haven't checked out our Facebook group and you want to participate in the What's on Your Workbench and following shows, make sure you check us out, Second Section Podcast on Facebook. Answer the 3 questions, we'll let you in. And then if you haven't already subscribed to the YouTube channel here, make sure you do so, and tell your friends about us, because we love doing the show and it's a lot of fun, and we absolutely love the support that you guys are giving us. So just keep up the great work, Section Crew. Thank you for being here tonight. Big turnout. Can't do it without you guys. And the last note, if you haven't yet, please go to miniprints.com. Support them. Check out the wares that Bernard has there. I have a link in the show notes. I also have a link to his Facebook page. And then Bernard's also on YouTube. So make sure you check out everything that he's doing out on YouTube with his live streams, catching product reviews, and just building a great community around his 3D print. And it's more of an experience. It's not just a product.
Yeah.
So I get there as often as I can. And then Chris, make sure you're checking out HomeShops as well, homeshops.net. all the models that we talked about tonight, the shit lines, and all of the 4427s. So make sure you guys are out there and checking that out. There in the description as well. Brad, if it's all right with you, I will add the Neosho Valley Lines if you want to have some people check out your model railroad group and stuff like that. And I saw you had some things for merch and stuff like that go to the Cherry Valley. Proceeds from that go to the Cherry Valley Model Railroad Club. I think I caught that on the side. Let's hook up after the show, and I'll get those where to get stuff into the comment section and into the description, so that way people can know where to find that from you as well.
Okay. Yeah, great.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to thank everyone again. Fantastic show. We'll see you all in a week. And have a great week. We'll see you next time. Good night, everyone.
Night, everybody.
Night all.